listen, I did not want to be unprepared. And so I already bought my dress, a dress too, and the swimsuit. I'll send you a picture of the dress. I think I might need to, like, get, like, just a safety pin so I can safety pin the back a little bit more. Oh,
well, I have those...
Hello.
I have those...
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, hi!
You guys can keep talking.
No, I have those little heart thingies that you can attach to the back that I used last time.
That would be perfect. Yeah. I think I'll do that because it is like a strappy dress. Yeah. So I can strap it up. So it's cute. It's like a rain sequence.
What's the plan? What should I pack for and start looking for?
Okay, we're gonna go to the pool party.
Yes, another pool party.
Ooh, okay.
That was fucking lit.
That was so much fucking fun.
Yeah. Sorry, we're just going over some Vegas plans real quick because it's coming up.
It is.
We're excited. I still need to ask for it off of work, but I know it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, I asked for it off, and my boss was kind of like dick about it. He's like, "Oh, you're going to Vegas?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm an adult woman. I'm going to go to Vegas."
Of course, I'm going to Vegas.
He's an older Mormon man who doesn't understand vacations in general. So going to Vegas, he's like, "Why?" And I literally told him, I was like, "The M&M world."
So what else?
I was like, obviously. I was like, "What else do you go for except M&Ms?"
Like, are you saying that I'm going to be drinking and gambling?
Disgusting.
No. Do you think I would sin? Huh?
No. M&Ms.
M&Ms. I'm an M&M bitch.
I definitely do want to gamble more this time. Yeah. I feel like that'd be really fun. So maybe we can like spend one night like gambling, one night going to the clubs, a pool party. How many nights are we going to be there? Because we're leaving.
We're going to be there for 3 nights, so we can go to the clubs 2 nights and go gambling 1 night and gamble during the day sometime. We can also go to the pool party. We'll have plenty of times for a nap.
Oh,
Taco Bell.
Oh.
At Taco Bell Cantina.
We're going to be so close.
Yeah, our hotel is right here. And then there's that bridge that goes to the Taco Bell, and that's the Taco Bell.
So we're right next to
we
the
are
Taco
right
Bell.
there.
So we can get the Baja Blast with tequila every day.
And
every day.
We're staying in the same hotel as that restaurant we went to on the last day.
The fun one with like the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Really
the cheap lunch.
The cheap lunch.
Oh my god. We paid what? $9? $4? $1 for the drink. So I think I paid $9 with the $4 tip.
Yeah.
Like a good tip.
Insane.
It was insane.
Can we not skip over the fact that someone said Baja Blast and tequila? Is that a thing?
Yeah, thing.
At the Taco Bell Cantina.
In Vegas.
I didn't know what this is.
Listen,
like
we went, and I was
so
so fucking drunk that I could, like, barely walk. And I ordered the Taco Bell, or the Baja Blast with tequila, and they were like, "Do 2 shots, I dare you." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I did it, and it just tasted like tequila. But I drank it.
I think if we did if you were going to do 2 shots, you should do 2 shots vodka. So I feel like it wouldn't be as bad. I feel like the fruit would go better with it.
I thought the fruit went better with the tequila, but that's just me.
I think that it was really good with just 1 shot of tequila.
I think you only really need 1 shot of tequila at that point in the night.
You guys dared me. I had to do it.
I'm not saying anything.
We would have called you a pussy if you didn't. So
I know,
it's understandable.
Understandable.
I honestly think about it
Such a good time.
I think about it all the time, and I barely remember it happening.
I have these amazing pictures of, like, Allie and Bella. One of you is, like, drinking the Baja Blast with tequila, and I think Allie is, like, holding, like, a quesadilla, and you guys are, like, eating it all dramatically, and it's the best thing I've ever seen.
The best part of that also was there's these 2 guys that came up and was like talking to us, but it worked out for our benefit because they've got a lot of food, and we actually like ended up eating most of all of their food. We did! Because they had nachos, and they're like, "Oh, you guys want some of our nachos?" And me and Allie are like, "Yeah," and then we just ate all their nachos. Because I was like, I love the tacos, like when they have their nachos and they do the Supreme with like the tomatoes and the nacho cheese sauce. I'm like, you're offering me this and I'm not going to suck your dick. That's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to be.
They were really nice. They were.
And
then they were like, bye. And they're like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah,
the Taco Bell Cantina is like a hub for weirdos.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh.
Okay, like weird guys specifically that like come up in line behind you and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like,
Don't talk to me. I'm trying to get my quesadilla.
I'm drunk. I just need a crunch wrap. That's literally how it happens.
I remember they started talking to us specifically because Allie and I were waiting for her food, and then we started talking that I was like, man, I wanted to kiss a girl, and then Allie kissed me, and then I was like, hell yeah, check mark. And then the guy behind us was like, wow, that's really how it is, huh? And then we started talking to them, and then they followed us, and then we just
ate his food.
And then we ate his food.
Yep.
Wait, you ate a spoon?
Oh, we
Ate
ate
his
his
food.
We ate
His
Oh,
nachos.
his food.
Yeah.
I thought you said
We
ate a
just
spoon.
ate a
I was like, damn, that really is how it is, isn't it?
That's really how it is sometimes, you know?
It really be like that. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good
I
time.
love Vegas.
Vegas was so much fun. I would.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm so excited we're going again this year.
I know. Literally. I've been trying. They don't have like any of like the places that like the concerts and stuff that are not the concerts, but like the features.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
clubs and stuff aren't up yet, but I've been checking.
I've been checking.
Dude,
I've been checking.
I would really suck a dick for some more 2 Chainz.
We left before 2 Chainz even got out, right?
No,
Yeah.
he was there a week.
And you had the opportunity to see 2 Chainz for $30 and you didn't do it.
And they went and saw a Playboy Cardi for $50, and actually only he sang 3 songs at 3 in the morning.
Like, yeah. And I'm like,
And it was a shitty.
Playboy Cardi kind of sucks, honestly.
He's only good because he's so artificial sounding.
Could have gone to 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz for even cheaper. 2 Chainz!
I still have a picture. There's like one of the club. The was it Diaz?
Dre's.
Dre's. So at Dre's, they have like pictures of like most of their like featured rappers, and I got like there's like my favorite picture of me is with 2 Chainz.
I literally have a video of us being like, 2 Chainz, I love you, and all of us are like pressed up against the house with him, and we're like, I love you, 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. It's not even that I've like honestly I haven't even listened to that much of his music. I just love 2 Chainz as a person.
2 Chainz.
Yeah, most expensive is like,
The show.
it's so good.
It's so
amazing.
good. I will just
Think
watch
about
that
it
when
all
I'm
the
having a
time.
bad day, honestly.
No,
Yeah.
literally.
Because I'm like,
Playboy Cardi kind of sucks, honestly.
People are now gonna call us out and be like, "Are you saying that Playboy Cardi? I will swing."
well,
I will
it's not that he's
swing.
like bad. It's just like, if you're gonna pick Playboy Cardi, 2 Chainz, it's not an option.
Those
it's
casinos,
2 Chainz.
for sure.
Always 2 Chainz.
Always 2 Chainz. I don't know why anybody would even hesitate at the option,
Yeah.
especially when 2 Chainz was cheaper to go to.
Yeah.
Better club, better performance,
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah.
There's like 3 things in that thing that just makes more sense.
Well, and Nate even told us before he left, he was like, even if the other guys don't want to go, I'm going to go see 2 Chainz. And then we asked him when he got back, and he was like, no, I didn't go.
He's like, I
Bingo.
just stayed with the boys.
I just see you with the boys.
I just stayed with the boys.
Also with the boys, okay, listen. It was like, not even like the regular, like our regular boy friends, you know? It wasn't like their regular group. It was Nate and like, your guys'
Some
like
new fellas.
new
Yeah.
guys and like Ryan's group. It was weird. It was a weird
Yeah.
group. But they bought one hotel room for 9 boys.
In Vegas.
With what? 1 bed, they said?
Yeah, they got like a king size bed, and so they were like, "Yeah, bring sleeping bags so that we can all sleep on the floor and shit." And it's like, you're all
Buy a
sleeping-
second room.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the rooms are not that expensive to justify 9 men in 1 room.
Yeah.
You could
No.
definitely do like 4 and 5, and yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 sleep on the floor. Not like, what, 7 out of the 9 probably?
No, yeah. I got no issues with, cuddling up with your homies and stuff like
Oh
that.
no,
but,
not at all.
it gets hot. What if someone
Oh,
throws
that would
up?
get so
You know,
fucking
it was like
hot.
When we went, we got 2 queens, and we all
shared.
shared, and
Yeah.
it was fine.
It was
but it
fine.
was still hot when I touched Holly.
Yeah, no, literally. We had to,
Holly literally had to push me away from her.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, I get it. But I also, like, I'm a furnace when I sleep, apparently. Like, even Devin yesterday was like, why are you so hot when you sleep?
No,
Not
I
even
am
like,
too.
you're
Don't
hot.
understand.
No, it's like, why are you so physically hot? It's like, I'm uncomfortable. Don't be near me.
Don't be near me. Don't be near me. Anyways, on the
Anyway.
topic of hot,
Court of
talk
Thorns and
about
Roses.
this book.
Let's do it.
What's up?
I'm
What's
so
up?
excited.
We read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Holly, our synopsis person,
Oh, yes.
do you want to explain?
So,
Did you bring notes?
I didn't need notes. I've read this 3-4 times now. I don't need notes. I always write notes for books like I've only read once, or like maybe like The Shining. I did notes because there was a lot of like symbolism and like imagery, and there is in this one. But like I've read this book 4 times now. I know what I'm reading. But the main girl, so there's a girl named Feyre. She's 18. Basically the best way to describe it is that this world, it's a high fantasy novel, and in this world the mortals are separated from the fairies, or like fae people, and most of them look like humans, some of them don't, obviously, because there's high fae who look like humans, and then just fairies who just like look like, creatures, and so it's not like fairies like Tinkerbell, it's like fairies like, they almost kind of remind me of elven people from The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Kind of like that
That's
concept.
kind of how they explain it.
So in this world, humans are separated from the fae people because they used to be slaves. So Feyre is a mortal girl who one night kills a wolf who happened to be fae. So with that, this High Lord, Tamlin, you learn, he comes and gets her for the treaty, because in the treaty you can't kill each other. And if you get caught, you have to go live out the rest of your life or be murdered on the spot. So she chooses to obviously live the rest of her life in, what is it called?
Prythian.
Yeah. And Prythian, where all the fae live. And in that world, there's 7 courts, and the courts are separated by the seasons and the solar. So there's the night, the dawn, and the day court. There's the spring, summer, winter, and autumn court. Mm-hmm. So she gets taken to the spring court, where she meets Tamlin, and from there a romance started. And that's like the synopsis, like the basic, without really telling you anything.
Yeah, and then like while she's there, they're like saying that oh, there's this sickness going around that's causing like the borders to go down, and like he doesn't have his full power, and so he can't really protect everybody, and like blah blah blah.
Because there's essentially like a High Lord, which just means like the king of that court, and she doesn't find out right away, but then she does find out that Tamlin is
the boy.
He's the boy.
The boy.
Yeah.
He's the boy. The man.
Oh, he's the man. He's the man of Spring Court.
He's the man of Spring Court. So he has the power, but it's depleted because of the blint, is what they call it?
The blight.
The blight.
The blight. Or the blint.
I always call it like a blimp.
Thanks, Randy. Good looking out, my guy. I think for me, so let's do a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't.
Ooh, yes.
Spoiler alert.
I think for me, when I realized I really love this book, is the big plot point twist when Tamlin tells her to leave. So there's some confrontation going on, and Tamlin doesn't believe that she's going to be able to stay there because people are going to come and try and kill her.
Yeah.
So he decides to send her back to her home, and obviously she's resentful. The night before, he admits to loving her, and she doesn't reciprocate. She does internally, but not vocally does she say, "Oh, I love you."
Yeah. And she's just kind of like, I mean, it's like obvious, right? And like, I've never been happier with you, blah blah blah.
Right. So she goes back to her home to find out. So to back up a little bit, her family had lost all their wealth, and they were pretty much broke, poor, living day to day. She goes back to find out that Tamlin had taken care of her family one way or the other through magic and different things, and now they're extremely wealthy again.
Yeah.
But she starts battling with this inner struggle of she does love him, she's worried for him, so she decides to go back. When she goes back to Prythian, where she was staying at this nice castle, pretty much, she finds it ransacked, and all these people are everyone's gone. Tamlin's gone. And she runs into one of the, housekeepers, I guess is the best way to put
she's
it.
Her
maid.
Basically handmaid or something like that.
And hey, thank you for the host.
Thank you for the
my guy.
Thank you.
And she runs into this kind of housemaid, and the maid ends up telling her everything that's going on. And that is right when I realized that this book is way deeper than... Because, like, you go through, like, listening or reading the first half, and like, okay, this is cute. You kind of see where it's going.
Yeah.
Like, it seems predictable.
Very, like, Beauty and the Beast sort of
Yeah.
storyline.
And then you realize that it's fucking not. Like, not even kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But, because a lot of people describe this book as Beauty and the Beast because it's this creature, because, like, the way Tomlin is also described when he first meets her and, like, takes her away is that he's in his beast form. And so,
we don't know what it is.
We don't know what a boar is.
And I don't know what sparks are either. We're new to Mixer, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Boar. Oh.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
But, yeah, so he's like this beast, and he takes her, and he actually ends up being handsome. But the biggest thing that happens is that when he meets, like, the fairies and, like, their form, like not in the monster form or the creature form, they're wearing masks. And then you find out that's part of the curse, is that they can't take their mask off until the curse is fully broken. So she doesn't even know what he looks like fully. So it's not like she can, like, fall in love with him or, like, based off looks. She has to fall in love with personality, which, like, we all know is, like, gross.
Disgusting. Where the looks?
Where the looks at?
Just kidding. We're not shallow people, I promise. Please don't judge us.
So we have for people watching, we're on a couple different streaming platforms. So if we say someone's name and you don't see it in chat, that's why. But You're a Lizard, Harry says thank you all for meeting me here tonight, and thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Randy, it's actually a lot better book. Coming from someone, I've never read a fantasy romance novel before, it's 10 out of 10.
It is.
Yeah.
It just gets better.
And yes, this is a book club.
Book club.
Book club! Thank you for the
Invention,
500
is it?
sparks.
Yeah, thank you for all the sparks.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks.
what?
Whose intervention? It's
Our sparks.
It's Holly's.
It's Holly's intervention.
But really, it's mine because I don't ever read the book.
Yes.
Yeah, we brought you here today. We care, but there's a problem.
There's an issue we need to speak about. Bella.
Did you read this book?
No. I read the first 2 pages yesterday.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
It's better than I've done before.
I mean,
Also, let's get into the steamy part.
Oh,
the build-up to the ravaging of this poor girl, 10 out of 10, too.
10 out of 10.
I was sitting there like, so, I can't remember what it's called. What was the event thing that he had to go to and, like, pretty much have sex with another...
It was called, like,
fairy.
night... It was, like...
Do you remember what it's called?
It starts
Light
with a
Night or
C.
something like that.
It's the Night of Light, and basically what it does is this High Lord has to pick a fairy and bang her, so then that way their crops grow next year.
Yeah, it's like
to like release the magic.
It's like
from the
sacrificing
sex.
it's like sacrificing a virgin, but instead you can either fuck a virgin.
Yeah. I'll say, okay, this was super awkward. So I was at work, right? And that's where I usually listen to all these books, is at work.
No.
And like that scene's going on, and he comes home and he's like, I smelt you at the fair. And I'm like, I was looking everywhere for you. And he said something like, the lady I was with said not to be gentle, but I would have been gentle with you. And I'm like, oh shit! Work's getting hot all of a sudden.
You're like, oh boss, I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm working with all these men, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I'm like, I'm a little flustered right now. Literally, that's how because I'll like read. I don't listen to it, but like I'll have my phone kind of next to me and like read on the Kindle if I'm not doing anything. And I was reading the next books in it, and there's like some more, Stevie scenes in it. And I got to like this whole entire part that I was like reading it, and I was like, I was like starting to like breathe heavy. I was like, oh my gosh. Should I stop? No, I want to keep going.
Well, and it was funny because I was the first person to read the book in the series. Cause I read it like 2-3 years ago. I told Cass to read it. I was like, oh, it's a little raunchy, but nothing really bad is said. Like, I mean, they say the word cock once. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, this is a little bit more graphic than you meant it to be.
Literally. She was like, I think it says cock once. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing more intense. And I was like, Holly, what is this? And I like show her like the entire like page of just like sex.
Not just like sex, detailed sex.
Razor's asking book club, what do you guys recommend? Definitely this book. Of Court of Thorns and Roses.
And the entire series. Honestly, a lot of the stuff by Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
if you don't really
love.
love like romance, her other one, Throne of Glass, is more about this assassin, which we should all read that one. It's really good. But that's a longer series. There's like 7 books. It does have some romance in it, but I feel like overall, it's not focused more on the main character's romance. It's more about her and everything that she is, because she's pretty badass.
Is it in the same universe?
No, well, technically,
It's like a
not. It's like a multi-universe.
Okay.
There's different dimensions, and in the second book, you'll read a lot
Okay.
more, and it'll talk more about it, because there's one of the main characters in the second book you meet, Amryn. She's Fae, but there's something unworldly about her, so there's something in her that's not Fae.
Yeah, a little
Bieber.
different.
Hi.
Hi, Bieber. Hi, Bieber. We missed you.
It was nice seeing you outside.
Randy.
It was nice seeing you in the parking lot earlier.
Randy says, "All right, how do I join Wine and Books? I'm in. Get a
Join
wine
us.
and read some books. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
You
we
know
pick
what?
a book once a month.
Yeah.
We usually will
Yeah.
post
And-
before, read along with us, and then come
Yeah.
and talk about it with us, you know?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Your Lizard said, sometimes I like to squat down, wrap my arms around my knees, and lean forward. That's just how I roll. You know, I really respect that.
Yeah, it's-
I usually don't do
beautiful.
like the squat. I just kind of go like this, and then like I go side to side.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
do.
yeah.
I do like a squat and then like a crab walk from side to side.
like
Really
Zoidberg?
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
More
I
of
pull a
a
Zoidberg.
Yeah.
shuffle.
To be clear about me not reading the books, I still do research on the book so that I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I just have a very busy day-to-day life.
You have a good
She's busy.
lifestyle.
She's busy. She's a professional woman.
Yeah, and I always think it's kind of funny and nice the diversity of how much all of us have read the book. And like, because I'll be honest, I usually get like maybe 50 pages in at most. And like, usually someone hasn't read it. It's a nice mix.
Yeah.
We have to come from all walks of the book.
Yeah.
Well, and even not reading the book, though, you can give input just based on, like, other stuff you have read or other stuff you have watched.
Yeah, like an outsider looking in,
Yeah.
sort of. Like if I
Yeah.
actually didn't read the book, this is what I think of it, and
Well,
stuff like that.
and then, like Monkey put, does the book have a Game of Thrones vibe? Little less adult than Game of Thrones, but it, like, there's some parallels to
There
it.
is. I feel like later in the
Later.
series it does, because there's a lot of like fighting amongst the courts, and like how you get to see more of like how their system works, and it's like, I mean, you obviously have 7 different rulers, and then on top of that there's this thing, is it the I always call it hybrid. What's the bad people's name? Highborn?
Hybern. Yeah.
Hybern. So that's like, Hybern is like the Lannisters,
Yeah.
but like way worse.
But wait,
They're like the
where's
Lannisters,
whole
but with the
island?
dragons,
I
kind of
feel
thing.
like-
If that understands you.
I feel like it's kind of like
Thank you, Lizzie.
Narnia vibes, like adult Narnia.
Yeah, kind of like,
Yeah.
especially with the whole wall and like just kind of that whole thing, and like they're
The
brought
different-
over and like
Yeah.
the different.
Yeah.
That's actually a really
Yeah.
good point, because
That's better.
I would compare it more to Narnia than I would Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
yeah, honestly.
Game of Thrones is more political than this one is. Like, this one has like some political aspects, but nothing like
Yeah.
that.
This would be a really good book for your girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Your girlfriend would love it.
100%.
See you, Randy.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Randy.
Bye, Randy.
See ya.
Yeah, no, definitely a good book for your girlfriend. Even, I mean, I openly admit that I like romance books, so I figured I was going to enjoy this, but I think even most guys who aren't would enjoy this book.
Yeah,
Mhm.
honestly.
Like, there's a lot of action in it. There's a lot of, if you're a guy who's had to go through a lot of stuff, like, you just had like a tough life, you can actually kind of relate to the main character,
yeah.
because you find out some of the decisions that he's had to make has really like fucked up his mental, but he's still strong. He still holds strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of,
Oh,
like,
especially
is
with
like,
Rysand. When you learn more about Rysand, you kind of realize like who he is as a person. I feel like it's
Yeah.
like most of the males, it's like they don't have that strong masculine energy. Like they do, but it's not like toxic masculinity. It's like it shows that like guys do go through shit and that it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. and
Like
just
with
kind of, like, this
Hamlin, Rysand, Lucian.
struggle. Oh.
When you hear more about his struggles.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Did anyone else get this vibe? When I read it first, so this is like also like my 3rd time reading it. Honestly, I love this book. But my first time reading it, I was hoping, and I would always like go and talk to Holly, and I'm like, I hope that Feyre and Lucian get together. I wanted them to get together for the longest time, and I was hoping for that, but then it ended up being like, her and Tamlin, and I was kind of like...
I definitely get where you're coming from, because the way that he, like, acted towards her almost seemed like playful flirting.
Yeah.
More, but then you find out, like, maybe it wasn't so playful because he knew what was going on.
Yeah. But the biggest thing as to why they kept her, like, in the dark, it's not because, like, they were being, like, rude or mean about it. It's because they physically couldn't. Because when you find out what the blight?
Blight?
Yeah.
The blight is, like, what the sickness is in their land, it shows that it's, like... They physically can't say what it is. And they, like, even at the end, they can't tell her, like, anything that's going on. Like, even though when she learns the truth, she only knows half the truth. Like, they... The ending, when you, like, find out about, like... You'll find something out about Tamlin. Oh, it's so good. Because it's, like... That was, like, the final thing that, like, no one could tell her. Yeah. That's why it was so good.
Yeah, no, honestly. I'm like afraid because you're going to keep reading it.
Yes,
right?
I'm going to read the whole series.
Okay, I don't know if you want us to like spoil anything past the part that you're at.
I'm fine if we do, because I'm not going to stop reading it.
Have you read any of the other ones yet?
No. So I'm planning on reading them like as soon as this is over. So I didn't want it to interfere with my thoughts on this book. Though.
Yeah, let's not tell them yet then, because I feel like it's such a good story. We don't want to ruin the next two. Yeah, because we'll just hint at things, but we won't tell you what happens because.
I'll be honest with you, like like when I read or watch movies, like I think a lot of people, you try and like start guessing towards the end. Yeah. And I honestly am a little lost on what the final like twist is going to be, because I thought maybe this was going to be his mom, the bad witch lady. Oh. And then you find out, no, it's not.
No, she just wants to get in everyone's pants.
Yeah, she's definitely, she wants the Tamlin dick. I mean, do you blame her? I don't.
I mean, honestly.
Court of Thorns and Roses is the book.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Alec? Alec was the one that came for the Star Wars.
Yeah, we know Alec. Yeah, we hung out afterwards. It was a pretty good time.
Who is the cat behind the guy? That's supposed to just be like
a cat version of Tamlin.
Yeah, someone drew a picture. There's not many pictures of this because there's not a movie.
Yeah. There's apparently supposed to be a TV series coming out. No, there's a TV series coming out for Throne of Glass. I don't know about this one though. I think they're thinking
a great TV show.
Yeah, honestly, Throne of Glass will be a great TV show. This one would also make a great TV show, but I think it's getting picked up by Hulu.
Ooh, by Hulu? I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, so they're gonna have like a lot more money production because like Netflix, like they produce like really good TV shows, but they like their high fantasies can be a hit or miss. Like The Witcher, amazing. But like some other high fantasies that I've watched, like I couldn't even get past the first episode because it's so like CGI and artificial, gross looking. Like, I feel like with The Witcher it was easier because they just basically, I don't know, they feel like they kind of took the set of, like, Game of Thrones and it was like, Witcher.
Witcher. Honestly.
Oh, it's funny. Have you guys ever played The Witcher before? Like, any of it?
Mm-mm. I've seen some of the playthroughs, but, like...
One of the funniest things is his horse, Roach, is, like, notorious for bugging out in that game. And, like, you know when, like, sweaty neckbeard gamers get upset about shit, they're like, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
So, like, on Reddit and shit, people were, like, super pissed off. Like, oh, this isn't accurate to the Witcher story, blah, 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 blah. And I just remember seeing one post and like, this is what ruined it for me. And it was the actor on the horse. And then it showed the game and the horse was on the actor. The horse was on Geralt or whatever. He's like, not accurate at all. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. The horse should be riding him.
Right.
Honestly.
I think Stoney said that when we were watching it. That he was like, you know, in the game?
I am excited though, like, because I'm a sweaty neckbeard gamer too. Like, I won't lie, but it's cool to finally have a show that is successful. That's a game, because now I think that opens the door for a lot of shit. Because they made an Assassin's Creed movie. It's kind of whack.
Yeah.
I didn't want to read subtitles in a gaming movie either. I thought that was weird. Like, half the movie was like in Italian. I was like,
You're okay, like, all right.
one thing I'm going to say about The Witcher, and no one agrees with me so far, so we'll see if you guys agree. But I had a really hard time. I know that this is like not our subject, but I'm just thinking about it now. But I had a hard time watching it because of all the sword sounds. Because I was like, I know this is based off a video game, but now I feel like we're just watching a video game. Because it was literally just like... the whole time.
That is true.
And Stoney was
Okay.
like, you can't be like irritated by that because swords make loud noises. I was like,
he's not wrong, but at the same time, if you watch
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, they definitely dole down the sound.
sword. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most they don't like have the swords that loud. You're right. I never noticed
Yeah,
that.
I
Now
didn't
that's gonna
notice
bother
that
me.
too.
now you're gonna think about it.
I'm gonna think about that all this time.
The thing is honestly, I don't play video. I don't have enough coordination to actually like get through and like play a video game. But I love watching like playthroughs of video games and like watching like cutscenes and stuff because I like the background because it's basically like a movie in a way.
Oh yeah.
You know, I really like that. And so if it's like more like a video game, it doesn't necessarily faze me as much just because I do watch a lot of playthroughs.
Cass and I also play mad Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're mostly good if we play against each other.
Anybody else, we're like, stop, it's no fun
that's
playing
not
with you.
true. We are hardcore button mashers, and we win
We
as button mashers. Okay,
Good word.
you know,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat is a button mash game,
Mm-hmm.
and we're great at it for that reason.
Any other way to play it, screw you, it's wrong.
Yeah, but our like gaming level is about the same,
Yeah.
so we kind of switch off on who wins.
Yeah,
It's pretty fun.
it's good. It's a good time.
We'll make like a drinking game out of it and be like, loser has to like drink or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a great time.
It is. Last time we ran out of beer and we were very sad.
We told so many people to see if they could bring us beer, so we're like, we'll play Mortal Kombat with you.
And we're like, what?
We're like, it was like 9 o'clock also.
Yeah, it was not late.
It wasn't. And so we're like, okay, are you sure?
Can you drive us to the gas station?
We could walk, but it's a little cold outside, so.
We'd really prefer not to do that.
Yeah.
They did just announce that there's going to be a new Mortal Kombat show, I think. Or movie. Might be cool.
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, like a movie or something.
I think that I've heard that, a movie.
Yeah.
I feel like Mortal Kombat wouldn't be a good movie, personally.
The 90s one is wild.
Yeah, but I feel like Street Fighter would be a better
Ooh,
movie than
yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
What you should do is, if you've never seen the 90s Mortal Kombat movie, get really trashed and watch it. Because it's like super stereotypical, like corny ass, like 90s action film. And the dude who plays Raiden will just like do like one like short sentences and just be like, we have to go kill him. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy up, Raiden, do it.
Come on, Raiden, you can do it. It's like,
It's really
I think
bad,
we
but it's so
should-
good.
I think we should make that one of our shows is we watch that and then talk about it afterwards.
Upside down.
We're great at
Okay.
talking about TV. If you
Yeah.
guys want to
But
reconvene.
hear me out. Let's get trashed first.
Trashed.
You know
Yes.
what we can do is we could get trashed as shit, watch the movie live. We can't show the movie,
But we can
but
watch
we
the
could
movie
put
live.
a timer of where we're at in the movie so people can watch along with us.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's what the Witchfinger podcast does.
Yeah.
They don't they
Yeah.
don't put a timer, but they watch the movie while they do it.
Yeah.
So you can even if you're listening close enough, you can hear some of the words in the movie, so you know where part they're at. And they normally say, "Okay, we're starting it now,"
Mhm.
so you can technically start it right then, and then watch it with them, and then hear them talk about it. So we can do that.
I think we
'cause
should do that.
I'm
we
down.
should bring
so
like a
down.
We
laptop.
should do that with the next season of Euphoria.
I need to watch the first one. So I just started Watchmen because I've been wanting to watch
That
that.
one's
Yeah.
interesting. I
It's-
haven't finished it.
It's weird so far. And then Euphoria was what I was going to watch next.
Oh,
Euphoria
man.
is
Good one.
so
Oh,
good.
and then you should watch Miss Fletcher.
Oh,
Fletcher? I don't know what that one is.
It's a great one.
It's pretty. It's just it's about a mom whose son is like a total asshole.
Goes off to
bully.
college.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Is a total
No, he's not.
asshole, and basically he goes off to college and she's like a single mom and she's all alone, and so she's like, oh, what do I do with my life? And then she starts to have like sexual fantasies that she never has had before, because now she's like all by herself,
Right.
and she like basically is like, I would never watch porn. Starts watching a lot of porn.
A lot of porn.
My favorite scene is when she's baking cookies and literally like in between she's like
she's
presses play on her hand.
like every time she opens her laptop, there's just like several browsers of different porn. It's so funny. It's so funny. And yeah, when she was baking cookies, she was like masturbating, and then her timer goes off, and she's like, God damn it! And she's like running off the floor to take out her cookies. It's so funny. It's such a good show. The ending, great.
No, honestly, it's so blew my mind. But we should definitely think of that.
I'm so down to do that.
Because we can do that like a weekly thing. Like every week we watch the new episode of Euphoria.
Yeah, kind of like how we would watch that and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've also watched Salem and Carnival Row.
Oh, Carnival Row, Witcher.
That was good.
Yeah.
Witcher.
All you'll hear is sword sounds.
Yeah, anyways, back to
Monkey
the
asked a good question. I'll be honest, this is the one part of the movie the book that I was a little confused on.
Mm-hmm.
He says, is he actually half cat? He's not a half cat, but he does have
like shape-shifting abilities.
Like shape-shifting abilities. But there's some scenes, or there's some scenes, I don't know, where it almost sounds like he constantly kind of looks like a beast a little bit. Yeah, and I couldn't tell if it was like something that he just turns on or off.
It's like an emotional thing, cause he has claws, so like when he gets angry, his claws come out. Like his fingers almost turn into like paw almost things. Yeah, like his fingers does at least, and then so it's just like he's a shapeshifter. So like just little things come out. Because I mean, if he wanted to, he can probably make his body, but it's all his like other limbs, like not the beast.
Well, when he first showed up to Farrah's house to take her, pretty much, he was a full wolf, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, like not a wolf,
like a lion. I imagine it more as like a lion sort of creature, but not fully, like just like giant, lionish.
Because he's like a lion with horns. And, like, not really a tail, but he has, like, really strong arms. So, like, it's almost like he's just a mixture of, like, a ton of things.
Yeah.
Because the horns is what threw me off.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think about, like, not like Sphinx. What's the other one that's like a... Never mind. I don't know.
A griffin?
Maybe, but that's with wings.
That's with wings.
So maybe a griffin.
Liger?
Like a tiger and a lion?
Horns.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I almost could see it with, like, a griffin, but minus the wings, add the horns. Because what was his face? His face wasn't lionish, was it?
I thought it was, because I feel like it would be really weird if he had, like, a lion body and then, like, this teeny little person head. It was just like... He's like, I heard it. Who has killed my friend?
Yeah, I'm still kind of confused on all of, like, what he is. Yeah. Like, his true beast form. Yeah.
Kind of like Beauty and the Beast, like the beast. Yeah. Like, he's a beast.
That's the best way to put it. Is like he walks on 2 feet. He's not on all 4, but he's kind of like yoked and kind of, Yeah. I think that's the best way to put it. He looks like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. That's what I envision.
Yeah. And he was kind of like born with it because it's like a special power. Not like all the High Lords turn into some kind of beast. And that's his beast form, but it's also like his specialty, so he easily transforms into it. And it's like a part of his being. It doesn't like fully release his full power. It does, but it doesn't. Like it.
And there is a curse involved in the book, which is actually a big plot point. It's described early on as like a blight or like a plague that's like affecting everybody. Yeah. And like they explain it kind of like. So some of the people have to wear masks permanently, and it's just to hide their face.
And they can't take it off.
They can't take it off, which actually turns into a big plot point when you figure out what's really going on. But then also, it's explained that it affects their magic, so they're not as strong as they normally are, and that they're, there's... The blight is making it so other territories can attack their territory. But, I mean, kind of spoiler, you find out that that's not all... actually the reality.
Yeah.
It's much deeper than that.
Yeah. Sorry. Like, can I like spoiler alert? Spoiler alert. Like in the book, basically you find out that instead of like a sickness, it's this general from Highburn who has come, and at first she kind of like sweet talk. Like the thing is they make a point to say that she's not strong at all, but she's very good at manipulating, and so she kind of like went to everybody and kind of sweet talked them into doing sort of things for her, and then eventually she had the opportunity to take a bit of everybody's powers and like basically lock it. Like she's not able to use it, but she like locked it inside of herself, and then just kind of like slowly would make it worse and worse, and then without their powers things would get worse and worse. And she like locked a lot of people down in her castle. Her castle is like under the mountain.
Under the mountain, which is like basically like their sacred land.
Yeah.
It's like where the start of everything happened. I don't know how you would describe it, but like it wasn't hers, but she made it hers.
Yeah. She wanted to like do it specifically so
she
she could like spit on their land, basically.
Yeah, that's a big old, hey, fuck you.
It reminded me a lot of that scene in the new Hobbit movie, you know, where they like fall down, they have to fight all those like goblin troll things.
Yeah!
Kind of reminded me of that, because it was like down in a mountain, and there was like a bunch of nice like bridges and different things to keep.
Yeah.
Sick hat though, by the way.
Thank you. It got a little hot.
Yeah, I turned the AC on, I don't know why. But it's probably Tamlin, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's honestly
why
thinking about Tamlin, so.
Well, thank you, Beaver.
Thank you, Beaver.
I'm gonna be honest, Tamlin was not my favorite. I actually hated all of how he reacted under the mountain. Because he did nothing.
Oh, right, exactly.
He did nothing.
He didn't do anything.
He just watched her die. It was bullshit. And like, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
She dies.
But yeah, so like that happens to her, and he does nothing.
He does nothing. He just watches it happen.
Yep.
And it's like,
then-
yeah, that's fine.
So is it like... So she's fighting for...
She's
prove
fighting
that
to
his,
free all of them.
free all of them, right?
Yeah,
And
she made like that deal with Aramantha, is that her name?
Aramantha, yeah.
So
I think.
was it necessarily that he was watching her die, or is there something that you find out that if she sacrifices herself for the love, it like breaks the curse?
No.
She does something, and Armithan isn't happy with it, so she kills her, even though it wasn't right.
Yeah.
Like she had no right to do it, but she did it anyways.
Yeah.
And Tamlin just sat there on his ass.
And watched
And
it
just
happen
watched it, was
literally
like,
like
oh, no.
feet in front of him.
So does it break the thing though? Because she broke the.
It does
rule?
technically, because once she answers the riddle, because she was given the
I just
riddle.
don't want to tell you all of this.
Yeah,
No,
so-
you're
but
fine.
yeah,
I'm still
She's
gonna-
given the riddle.
Okay,
and
so
she,
basically, he got to the worm part. So, okay, so basically we'll just tell you what happened. Because now that you kind of already know. So this way it makes sense and you're just like, what the fuck? So she does all 3 tasks. You should still read it because all 3 tasks are really
Oh no, like I
interesting.
said, I'm not going to stop. I want to read the whole series.
Yeah, so she breaks all 3 tasks. And then Armithan's like, well, stupid human, I said I would break the curse, but I didn't say when I would break the curse.
Of course.
And so, unless you break the riddle... And so then what Armithan does is it starts, like, destroying her because no one has their powers back.
Yeah.
No one has their powers back. And so she just starts,
fucking
like, breaking her and, like, killing her. And Tamlin's just, like, on his knees being like, please, don't kill her.
Just, like,
I
begging
love her, please.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Just like
Nothing.
begging her.
Begging her not to kill her.
Like, Rysand steps in and tries to stop it.
Rysand, like, gets a knife, tries to kill Armithan. Armithan almost kills Rysand, but, like, does it because he's so powerful still.
Yeah.
She
he's-
pushes him off and is like, fuck you.
And so she breaks her, and right before she dies, she's like, I know your curse. I know the what the riddle is.
Yeah, the
And she's like,
answer.
it's love. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, you can, like, see, like, it, like, all, like, comes down. And then Tamlin finally gets it and then kills her.
Yeah.
Doesn't, like,
just
go
like
to
that.
Feyre, who's dead now because she snapped her neck.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
Doesn't do anything. Goes to kill Armitha. And then goes to Feyre. Like, I mean, like, they, like, obviously needed to kill Armitha, but there was also 7 other High Lords who could have dealt with it.
Stepped
Yes.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
Who could have stepped up.
But nobody did it. 'cause
No
they're
one
all
did
pussies.
it. Yeah, all
So-
of them are pussies.
Interesting. So, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I've heard it. The kind of bad guy but good guy.
Rasan.
Yeah, Rasan.
Reese. We call it Reese for short. Rasan
Reese. Okay.
for full name.
Do you find out, is he actually like kind of a good guy this
Oh,
whole time?
I hope so.
You have to. I don't
You
want
won't know.
anything.
You won't know until the second book because even
Yeah.
at the end of the first book, you don't find out
Yeah.
anything. But you realize like he really wanted Armitha gone.
Yeah. Like,
He
Yeah.
didn't
like
obviously.
her.
She didn't because she was keeping his power away.
Right.
So obviously she wanted him gone. But like so and like you find out like who he really is in the second book. But it may be bad. I don't know. He's a dark lord.
Okay, so I have so many theories because I sped through this. I actually really like Rasan.
Rasan's
He's
cute.
like,
He's a precious boy.
he's
It was pretty
top notch. I'm hoping they end up together. But at like the very end, she is brought back. I'm sorry, I'm gonna spoil
You're
all
good,
of
you're
this. So she's like brought back to life.
Okay.
Through this certain way.
Yeah.
And then she and Rasan have like this moment outside where it's cute, and then he like looks at her and something changes and he looks back startled. And I'm really hoping it's like he realized he was in love with her or something like that. Like, oh.
Well, because like when he first met her, he stopped those dudes from
Hurting
doing bad
her.
things.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you meet him, you're kind of like, oh, he seems like I get like he's the handsome dude, like that's what they make him out to be.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that he's also way more powerful than Tamlin, even at full strength.
Yeah, you find out that he is the strongest High Lord in history. Not just of all of, like, he's in history.
In history, yeah. So
And
he's,
you'll
like,
find
the
out why,
strongest.
because, like, it's not because of, like, being in the Night Court. It's more of, like, his ancestry and, like, part of, like, who he is.
Well, did they go
power
into
he has.
him and Tamlin's, like, relationship?
Yes, you'll find out everything,
They were-
actually.
He said, like, they brushed over it where he said, oh, how do you think Tamlin learned how to fight and make love to girls or something like that?
They
And it was
mentioned
like-
that they used to be like
best friends.
Yeah, they used to be like best friends
Like
in
this.
a way. They used to be really close because they both were not
I know, it's
fans
been a
of
long
their
time.
father, who was like cruel and
It's been a long
stuff,
time.
and they could kind of get away with like hanging out with each other because of their kind of cruel parents. That they thought that they were like, oh, yeah, that'll be a good thing. But both the sons were like, no, fuck our dads.
Does anyone watch Naruto? Like, just... is it like a Naruto Sasuke?
I'm at I'm at the like end of the war arc in Shippuden right now. So
Oh, fuck.
right,
It's getting fucking thick.
I know. Oh, it's
No, like,
intense.
for people who watch Naruto, who don't watch Naruto and Sasuke kind of have this weird bond where they both don't have parents.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasuke reminds me of Tamlin more, where he's kind of like quiet, reserved, all the women love him. Like, but then Naruto kind of seems more like Reese, like, you know, hey, what the fuck's up, guys? Like,
I think
I'm
that's
here.
actually a really great analysis because then also because Tamlin's like more of kind of like the brooding, like, oh man, and then Reese is definitely more kind of like, no, we can be friends, let's be friends, blah blah blah, trying to go more for that. Yo, dude,
Fucking Wade is the best person.
I want to know if it's normal to look at your own butthole.
Yeah.
Yes.
It definitely is if you have a mirror.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
You gotta
get in
do-
the proper position.
I do the technique where you get one mirror here, and then you get one mirror on the
Oh!
ground, and then you just squat, and it's like, oh,
You're like, that's my
butthole
butthole.
is."
That's what your toilet
That's
sees
my
every time you're about to
butthole.
poop.
Yeah.
Well, for girls, it's every time. But for guys, it's just when you poop.
It's just when you
Hey, Wade with McLaren from Denver. I work with your brother almost every day now, and I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing well.
hope you're doing well.
And go Eagles. Yeah. We'll be more
Go
consistent.
Eagles!
You'll see more content.
Sasuke for
Block
life.
Zach at my house.
Yeah.
Did you block Zach at his house?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Who's
Was that the video where you like?
Where you were like,
that was
no?
Aaron.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, he was out.
Yeah.
Like a light.
Gumbo can do it easily? What does that mean?
Easily.
Are we talking about gumbo like the soup?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm about gumbo.
Okay, is
I'm allergic to shrimp. It's not my thing.
Oh, that sucks.
I was gonna ask a stupid question, but then I'm wrong.
Ask the soup.
That's in
I
there.
was gonna say, is chili considered soup?
Yes.
Um,
Right?
I don't know, because it's very thick. That's why I was like, is gumbo
I
considered
think that
soup?
it's still soup yet.
It's like
It's
a clam
technically-
chowder considered soup?
It's all soup.
Yeah,
It's
that
all
is
soup, but a
cereal.
chili is a chili.
Chili.
Okay.
Kind of. I mean, it's still a soup, but like I feel like a chili is like a subcategory of a soup.
That's what I felt about gumbo, because I was like, is gumbo a soup? But like, it is, but like, it's more like a chili to me.
Well, I think that chili, chowder, and gumbo are all subcategories of soup.
Is cereal a soup though?
No.
No, that's cereal.
It's cereal.
Cereal is cereal.
I
feel like it's a weird kind of homemade soup.
Yeah, kind of like
it could be a soup.
if you use it with milk.
Yeah.
If you're eating dry cereal, then it's just dry cereal.
But then
No,
is
I think
oatmeal
cereal
soup?
is cereal all the time.
It's soup. Homemade soup.
Hot cereal is oatmeal, and it's a cereal. It's
Hot
not a
take.
soup.
Soup.
Two separate things. Two separate things.
Ooh woo.
Ooh.
Do you guys read it as that? Because I always
Heck yeah.
read it as that.
I don't know what it means.
Ooh woo. It's
I
supposed to
don't
be
either.
like the closing the eyes and like.
I think it's
You know?
like an emotion. Like
Yeah, it's like
LOL, but-
ooh.
I had to explain this to my girlfriend too, because she's like, "What does it UWU mean?" I'm like, "Ooh, woo."
My thing is that like I'm not with the times. You know? Okay, that's not true. I
Gumbo is fire.
am
Yes.
with the times. I just don't get all the like slang words.
See, I
I
think
don't
feel
get
that.
abbreviations.
Oh my god.
I
I
don't get
have
them.
no idea
And
what any of them mean.
acronyms. I can get like I get LOL, and
I get a
here's the thing. I a lot of the time.
Undercooked brownies. Oh no!
But a lot of the time, I have to Google things to figure out.
Dude, I feel that. Because when I was like on Tinder for a little bit last year, like guys would message me and I'm like, what are they saying to me?
Like DTF.
Yeah.
Ooh woo.
Well, I know what DTF means.
Do you?
Down to
Down to
Franklin. Just kidding. I didn't. I know what DTF is, but
What
like
about-
certain ones.
I had to look that
L-
up when I got on
L-
Tinder. I was like,
DTF.
TTB.
Did you?
LSTD.
I'm fine.
Let's see that tiny butthole.
No, that's from something else.
Oh.
That-
Anyone ever send you that one?
No. That's because a lot of people don't know about my tiny butthole.
yeah,
I haven't
that's
came
right.
out with my book yet.
Oh yeah, your
I forgot the book's not
Your
out.
tiny butthole memoir. Check out her tiny butthole memoir when it comes out.
Yeah.
Please.
I feel like being a young adult is so weird because like you don't understand a lot of the things on like social media right now, but then like a lot of adult stuff you don't like. So last night we were at dinner at this like fancy restaurant because Valentine's Day, of course.
Of course.
Nate and Cass were there. It was great.
It's really
My boyfriend Stoney, he ordered a drink, and the waiter it had an orange peel in it.
Yeah.
And he sets it down, and Stoney goes, "Is that a yolk?" Our waiter was like, "Is it a what?"
He was literally like, that yolk!
Is that a yolk? And he was like, "No, it's not a yolk. It's an orange peel."
He's like, alright, I just wanted to prepare myself if it was.
And we were like, "Were you gonna drink it if it was a yolk?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was just gonna like, do the like."
Just slip the yolk in the wrist.
Oh, shit.
That is such a Stony thing that it makes me so happy to know that happened.
It's so funny because I was like, what if you actually like drank it thinking it was a yolk, but then it was just the orange peel?
Like if you just assumed already it was a yolk, so you were just prepared.
You're like, oh, what? I could have done a murder from the Netflix show.
You guys need to still
I
watch
need
that
to
show.
finish the first season.
Oh my
God.
god! Cass has only seen the first murder. I've
only
only seen the first murder, so don't ruin it.
Have you seen the whole series?
Yeah.
I have too.
I tried to get James into it, and he was like, "It's a really dark series," and I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's so
about
good.
murder
Duh.
and stalking." And he was like, "I don't know, it's like not something I'd like want to watch before bed." And I was like, "Oh, it's definitely something I watch before bed."
I think I
Like,
watched-
that's something else on show. Fine.
oh man.
I was upset because I watched the first season when it first came out, and I told Cass, "You should watch it. You would love it." 2 years later, had to get to watch it, and now there's a new season that's even not as good, but is good still nevertheless.
I think that it has a different level of like. Okay, I don't know, because the thing is about the first season is that you're like meeting Joe, and you're like, wow, you're fucking crazy. But then the second season, you kind of feel for him a little bit, but then you're like, no, you're a crazy person. This cannot be happening. I don't feel bad for you. You murdered a whole bunch of people. I can't do this. This isn't gonna happen. And then, like, things keep happening, and even, like, Stoney and I watched it together, and he was like, I don't know, like, I kind of like him and this girl. And I was like, no, you don't, because he's a fucking murderer and a psychopath. No. He's stalking her. And he was like, well, like, but they're kind of cute together. And I was like, but they're not cute together because he's a psycho. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you find out some other shit down the line, and then he's like, oh, that makes sense.
It's great.
That's like when all the people kind of started freaking out about Millie Bobby Brown after she watched You, like, posted something just kind of like, oh, I mean, like, it's kind of sweet, like, how he does that. And everyone was like, what? But then it was like, what is she, like 14?
After Millie Bobby Brown did that and tweeted it, you just pan over to Drake and he's like,
oh, shit! Next to her, hey, girl, what's up?
I was literally about to say, it's probably because she got people like Drake in her DMs.
Right.
Like, because she's like 16 now.
Yeah.
16 still.
Can we
16,
side thing? Have you guys seen the new trailer for Stranger Things 4?
Yes.
Okay. I am
shook.
Not gonna watch it.
You're not gonna watch it?
I'm so tired of shows not having balls anymore.
Oh, and just totally killing off somebody.
Just fucking send it. He's
honestly,
dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. Just send it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of their scapegoat of having another season because honestly, I really think that Stranger Things would have been best as a standalone season.
I agree.
Yes, they definitely did not need the second two.
Yeah.
Like the second and third season, like I liked them, but definitely the first one.
They're fun, and I'm still gonna probably watch it. But I just like, I don't know why shows are so afraid like
to kill someone off.
Like I get it. Like,
I learned from Game of Thrones.
I loved Harper. He was a he's a DILF.
Yeah.
Especially, have you seen his an Architect Digest, his apartment tour?
Yes, I watch it
horny.
Like a lot actually.
His house in his apartment in New York.
It's amazing.
Gorgeous.
He's got all these plants.
He has like this bathroom that makes me.
Forrest says murder and stalking. That's what I do best. It's true. It's true.
That would make sense.
Yeah, we all knew that. We all knew that.
We would know. Who, though? Give us the details.
Give us the deets.
Okay, you guys, this morning? Okay, so, sorry. This is a total side. Okay, so earlier this week, I'm sure you guys heard about that shooting that happened on, like, 3rd South and 30s or something. I
did not. What?
Okay, there was a shooting, and there was a police officer that was shot. He wasn't killed or anything, but he was shot, and there was a domestic violence murder, essentially.
Fuck.
But the guy got away, pretty much, basically.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, I went over to Marshall's and I literally got stopped 8 times on this fucking, it was 3rd East. That road was just blocked up.
Yeah, I was driving Stoney's mom to work and then we both saw it and I was like, what is going on? And then I was driving her home later on and I was like, I didn't find anything about what happened earlier, but we saw these police cars and the whole street was blocked up and she was like, oh, there was a murder. And I was like, okay. But then today, I was driving to work. It's like 8 a.m., right? Well, okay, it was like 8:30. I drive to work, and there were like 20 cop cars. So I work on...
You work close to that area.
I work close to where it was at. And, anyways, the apartments across the street had these, like 20 cop cars outside, and 2... Did you guys see my story this morning? You didn't. Okay, you
I saw your cop cars.
Yeah.
Your cop cars.
You saw my cop cars.
Your cop cars.
Like 20 cop cars outside and like 3 crime scene vehicles. And there are these police outside, like with like the whole like front of the apartments blocked off. And I literally was standing at my window. I work at a bank, right? So I'm like, we had like these like big like bay windows that face the street, and I literally was standing there like this all day for 4 hours. I was sitting there just like watching, and
watching it all go down.
It honestly, I have not figured out what happened. I'm gonna Google it later on. I'm hoping that something has happened by now, but I'm almost positive. And like the fire department came and like washed the whole sidewalk and stuff, and I was like,
Oh, jeez.
There were people taking pictures and stuff, like these like official people taking pictures and stuff, and I was like, there has to have been something happen. But I've also seen a guy die on the sidewalk across the street there while I was at work, so you know.
Downtown's an interesting place, especially if you get towards South Salt Lake. It gets wild.
I'm not in South Salt Lake, but I saw a guy have a seizure and die on the side of the street, and I see people on drugs all the time, like yelling at trees and stuff.
Oh,
it's a thing.
Literally, literally today, me and Devin went to Leonardo, and we came out, and it was right in front of like the library. You know, like the library where they have like that like big like concrete area. There was just a guy like dead on the sidewalk.
It's fucking weird.
It was like the officer's like, oh yeah, there's a 65-year-old man. Looks like he's homeless. We should send an ambulance.
Yeah.
And like me and Devin were like just like,
What the fuck?
we're like, anyways, peace out.
Apostasy on Twitter. Follow me because I'm cool. I just want more followers. I'm clap chasing. I'm sorry.
You got to do it.
Oh, but when we worked at the bakery, were you working at the bakery when that whole thing?
No, but Chris was working like right next to you guys.
Because we see somebody run, and then we see cops chasing this guy with full-on shotguns.
Oh, geez.
And we just have these giant windows, and we're just watching. Like, should we lock the door? We're like, I don't know, but apparently, this guy was literally running around the street with a gun to his head.
Oh, jeez.
And so, like...
Didn't he, like, shoot at something, though?
He shot at something just to kind of be like, hey, and then I think when they were trying to, like, chase him down, he's like, I'll do it! And they're like, what the fuck?
That's sad.
When Cass used to work at the bakery, we used to compare the homeless people we saw every day. Because there was one guy, blanket guy.
Oh, blanket guy,
We used to see him, we both used to see him all the time, because these homeless people just, like, literally walk up and down the streets all day.
They come instinctive.
Yeah, we have, like, a couple of guys that, like, in the wintertime, when it's, like, really cold, they'll walk past my branch, walk in, and stand, like, between our double doors and just sit there for a few minutes and then get out and leave. And we're just, like, we can see you.
Right.
Like,
I think the wildest, like, not the wildest thing, but one of the funniest things I ever saw downtown was just the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life.
What?
It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. It
Look,
was South Salt Lake.
Let me just clarify. Are you talking about someone who is a dick, or are you talking about
No,
dick?
like a
an
penis.
actual dick?
Like, just the biggest penis I've ever seen in my life. So I used to go to South Salt Lake campus, right?
Yeah.
And I was pulling out, and, like, there was some traffic right there, like, because it's a weird intersection. It's in front of the tattoo shop. You have to take a right.
Oh, uh-huh.
And there was this gentleman
Hello.
who, I don't know if he just had taken a shit in the bushes.
Oh, no.
Or not. But was like, he was like in the motion of like wiping his ass. And then his pants fell down.
Oh!
And his fucking ween was like to the bottom of his knee. And I'm like...
Was it like flaccid?
Yeah, oh yeah, he wasn't hard. I like looked over and I'm like, is that a dick? Like, it was like, I thought it like got up for a second and like looked at me like right in my eyes. I'm like, oh my god.
It gets up, stares at you,
Yeah.
walks
Just gives me
away.
that look,
You're like, oh shit. Okay.
I believe that happens. We live in Salt Lake, so everything is like, literally, okay, listen, like, I literally look at, like, our, you know, I regularly look at, like, KSL, which is, like, our, like, news place for, like, everything Salt Lake related. And literally there was an article the other day that was, like, woman calls 911 in the middle of the night for baby formula.
Yeah.
Not joking. Like, that was a real thing.
For baby formula?
911, what's your emergency? I need to feed my baby. Give me some formula.
Her ducts were dry. And she didn't know what to do.
Oh.
Call your
ducks
doctor.
are dry.
Call your mother. Call your neighbor.
Well, she was calling for formula, and then
Go to the store.
She had 5 other kids at home, and she didn't want to leave them alone.
I mean, I guess
if you could have got
mad about that, really. I mean, it takes up probably space, but like, if she really did panic and was worried that her kid was gonna like
be sick.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is like, you have 5 other kids, you don't know what to do in that situation when your ducks dry out.
Well, she said that it had never happened before. But the thing is that
that sounded like such a thing of like when a guy's dick gets flaccid during sex. Oh, it never happened before.
I don't know what's going on. I must be off tonight.
sorry. Must be whiskey.
Like, it just sounded like, that just sounds like such a fucking excuse when it's like you knew you drank too much and that this was going to happen, but you're just saying like, I never heard this happen. I get where she's coming from because as a mother, I'm not one. I would probably freak out too if my baby was hungry and I didn't know what to do. But I feel like
my titty dry.
What happened to like her husband, a neighbor, her mother, father, somebody that could like run to the store and get her formula real quick?
Well, that was the thing. That was the reason she called 911 because she couldn't get a hold of anyone. And I'm like, you couldn't go down the street to the gas station 5 minutes away and get it.
Yeah, buckle up all those kids.
You could leave them for 5 minutes to go to the gas station. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
or like run over to a neighbor's house and be like, listen, this is what's happening. I need someone. Could you either run for me, or will you either like help? Like, just help me, man.
Yeah. James Plays says Florida is plain here, so I don't see anything freaky except a stalker. You got a stalker?
Ooh.
You have a stalker?
No, you have a stalker.
I have a stalker?
No, James says he accepts a stalker.
Oh, he has a stalker?
Yeah.
You have a stalker?
You want another one?
Do you have a stalker?
Do I have a stalker? No, I don't have a stalker.
I thought, okay, never mind.
I thought she like looked at me, you have a stalker, and I was like, I have a stalker?
Yeah, it's me.
It's Bella. There's a reason she's over at my house all the time.
I'm not invited over.
No, it was weird. Like, Utah is so... When you finally, like, go to different places and you get out of Utah, you realize how, like, non-wild Utah is. Yeah. I went to Denver for a day. Now, granted, I was... beyond gone because you got to partake in the activities in Denver.
Oh, yeah.
But you notice more stuff sometimes when you're under the influence. Denver is fucking disgusting. Mm-hmm. I saw so many half-naked homeless people just shagging in the middle of the fucking street and stuff, and I'm like, wait, why is this going on? Like,
you're like, hold up.
Is anyone else seeing this? Are we just ignoring that? Like,
y'all see that?
To like the Bay Area, California. I worked in Oakland. The homeless people there, I've seen naked homeless people do horrible things and just emit horrible bodily fluids everywhere.
Well, you heard
it's
about
insane.
The app in San Francisco, right? I thought it was a joke. I saw on Reddit that it started as a joke and now it's actually used by a lot of people in San Francisco. It's an app that just looks like Google Maps, but people mark where homeless people shit so people can avoid it. And it's like, I looked at a picture of the Reddit of like someone who posted it. It almost looked like there was a shit on every road.
Ew.
Every single one.
And I was like, what the hell is going on?
You want to hear something gross about shitting?
Yes.
It just reminds me of this, like, why, like, I feel like Utah can be a little bit, like, mild. Is that apparently... Apparently...
Which one? White? Yeah. Right?
Sam, my old coworker, she's got fired recently.
R.I.P. Wait, Sam got fired?
Oh, I have a lot to tell you.
Oh my god.
A lot happened in the last 2 weeks that I haven't told you about work. This is not for the podcast.
This is personal.
But she was telling me about this video of this woman in a Walmart. And so I'll just tell you what this woman did. She was in a Walmart. You know how Walmarts are. There's about 2 to 3 bathrooms in a Walmart. Easily. Not the best, but there's bathrooms. This woman went to the what was it called? The meat area. You know how they have like those meat and then they have like those like areas? This woman was wearing shorts. She dead ass grabs the bottom of her shorts, moves them to the side. Diarrhea's on the floor. Walks off.
What? Oh my god!
I watched it and I was scarred. I can literally. I don't know how. One, first of all, how did she not get any on her hands or pants? And two, she didn't wipe. She like sat down, did that, and then walked out.
You know how she didn't? That's a woman who's done that multiple times.
It was obviously like her MO.
To it. It's not like.
Well, and it wasn't like, and like, it wasn't a solid one. It was just like.
Did you guys see the one that was like pretty recent that went pretty viral? It was the wildest thing I've ever, like, no pun intended, wildest shit I've ever seen.
Shotgun shit?
No, that one's pretty bad.
I think about that a lot.
You see, it's like a kind of crappy security camera, but it's a restaurant, or like a fast food place. I don't know. You see this lady walk in, she grabs her food, and then walks out. And then she walks back in, and she starts, you could see her, like, screaming at somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, there's a railing behind her that's kind of like bottom is wood, and then the top is like a railing. She squats on it, shits on the floor.
What?
Grabs the shit, and just hurls it at whoever is, like, you can't see who's behind the counter. You just see her grab the shit and start throwing it. And I'm like, oh my god, where?
Salty Frank is here.
Salty
Oh
Frank.
my god,
We
boy.
missed you.
I was honestly about to say,
Where's
where's
Salty?
Salty Frank? We've been on for an hour now, Salty. Where have you been?
Where have you been?
We
You know
missed
what?
you so
You're a
much.
little late here. We were waiting.
Late, but it's okay.
Salty is the boy, and I miss him.
He's the boy.
So I'm going to answer Expo 13. Wait. You.
Can we just type it?
Can we type it to them?
Yeah.
Just
What?
spell
It's
it out.
apostrophe. So it's AP.
Hold on.
It's apostrophe.
APOST ASSY.
But the ass in it is in all caps.
Yeah.
Apostasy.
Apostasy.
Yeah, okay.
Assy.
Like apostasy,
I don't
but
know
with
about
ass.
You got it.
It's good. It's cool. I'm
James
okay.
says I had 2 stalkers. The other one was in a Walmart when I was 9.
What?
That's actually some scary shit.
That
to be
is.
honest with you.
Were you almost
That is
napped?
scary.
Kidnapped?
Was it a
Napped as a
stalker
kid?
or was it a potential murder or kidnapping? It's probably
Or
a
a pedo.
pedo. Ooh, child,
Yeah,
a
shit.
Can we go back to
pedo.
something that
Child,
Bella
pedo.
said earlier about being a young adult and how weird it is?
It is fucking
Okay, I was sitting in my room a couple days ago, just like, you ever get those days where you lay in bed and you just think about everything?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You know.
I am
Yeah.
2 years away from my 10-year anniversary from high school.
Oh,
I got like physically sick.
I'm 5.
I got
As of
physically
this year.
sick.
And I'm like,
I was like,
what?
oh my god, is that real? And I don't know what it is. Like,
We're
why is
6
high
now.
school?
Yeah.
Why is high school so like
Weird.
weird when you like try to remember it now?
well, and it's like such a
Yeah.
weird like gauge of how old you are.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm this many years since high school,
Yeah.
which is like okay,
Yeah.
like high school's not the best part of your life for most people,
No.
or it shouldn't.
No, it
be.
shouldn't be.
If it is,
Just to be clear, if it was, you should do some.
If
Other
you peaked in
things.
high
Self-searching.
you
school,
proudly peaked, and that's sad.
That's unfortunate.
I'm
You should
sorry
get some new
for
hobbies.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Read a book.
Yeah, read a book. Come on, read
Our
a book,
book,
drink
we-
some wine.
Yeah, you can join our book club.
Watch
we
watch
are
your
going to
videos.
pick a new book for next month. Hopefully with something with leprechauns in it for St. Patrick's Day.
We don't have any
Hey,
ideas yet. If
it'll
you
be
have
fun.
ideas, give it to us.
It was a pedo
We
murder.
want it.
Gotta pick it.
I still remember how she
Oh,
looked.
scary.
She was probably
Oh, that's scary.
That's fucking
I feel
scary.
like the worst are like women kidnappers who are like, I don't have kids, so I'm gonna steal yours.
Literally. And then they just raise the kids as their own,
Yeah.
and then eventually people are like, wait a minute, you're not my mom. And they're like, what do you mean? And then, yeah.
Have you guys? Okay. Do you guys? I know you guys. You sometimes do. You guys ever listen to the Crime Junkie podcast?
Yeah.
I have
love
almost
Crime
listened to
Junkie.
every episode now.
I listen to every episode except for 2, but I'm listening to the Beaumont Children one now. And
Oh, I haven't
honestly,
listened to
like,
that one all the way.
okay, so there's
I will
this
have
guy who's a part of like the issue. Here's the thing: is that when I listen to like crime, like true crime stuff, I feel like it's like I have this like thought that it's like just a story. It's not like things that are true crime,
Yeah.
but it is.
True.
It's true crime. That's why it's called true crime.
Yep. It's true, and
But
it's crime.
in the Beaumont children murder, there's a guy that they call the satin guy, and his fetish is literally satin. Like
What?
people at his house, like people when they come to his house, cannot wear satin because the sound of it, like swishing, the look of it, the way it feels, gives him immediate arousal.
It's so weird.
And he has a quarantined room in his house that no one else is allowed to go in, full of his satin shit.
It's
Interesting.
He used to give his son money so he could leave the house so he could be alone with his satin.
It's so weird though because like if you, I imagine that they're gonna find out like some weird thing like his mom used to wear it and like
Yeah.
he has like
Oh,
really bad
yeah.
mom issues because
Very
there was like a study
Freudian.
on people with feet fetish that most men who have a foot fetish it's because their mom had left their shoes out growing up and she was like a hard-working mom so her shoes smelled weird and it like translated in their brain later in life to like that they want a connection like you would have a connection with a mom and like the foot fetish is like something that's brought back. It's fucking disturbing and weird. Uh-oh. Hey, you know, sometimes... Hold on, before we continue, though, sometimes dude just like to suck toes, okay?
Holly may or may not know someone.
I mean, I know 2 people now. Just thinking my last 2
I guess they look at you as a mom figure? That's
Yeah.
kinda strange.
They do! I mean, honestly, yeah! But then if you think about their personalities and their relationship with their moms...
That's terrifying.
I
mean,
It's so true.
They found that study started with who's that? Have you guys watched the Mindhunter show?
No.
We started to
We
watch
started
it.
it.
Who's
the
the big serial killer, the really tall guy?
Oh,
Ed Gein?
Ed
The co-ed
something.
killer? Or
No.
Geen.
Yeah, it was
Ed
either
Gein?
him or someone else had like a weird thing with feet, and he was the one who explained that he was like, yeah, like it came from my mom was like a nurse or whatever, and like
I think it was Ed Gein.
he
because I
like
remember them
associated
talking about that.
with the smell of his mom's shoes growing up to a later
Was he the-
development of a foot fetish.
Was he the one who killed his mom?
Yeah.
And
Okay,
I
yeah,
like
that is Ed
decapitated
Gein.
because
Yeah.
he was
Killed his
a
mom.
co-ed killer because then he did it to a bunch of co-eds.
Yeah.
So James, before I miss it, he said, talking about a stalker, she had fake red dyed hair and gray jogging clothes.
Ooh.
That's terrifying that you remember that, man.
Probably
Yeah,
early
honestly.
30s.
Bieber wants us one of these months to read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a
That would be
book.
such a good one to
She wants us
read.
to do that as a book club.
I'm down.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, and especially with like a lot of like a lot of people. And it's like if you look at Barnes and Noble, they even have like merchandise for that book. So I feel like
Yeah.
that'd be a good one to read. The art, what is it? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
We could even do that
Yeah.
next month.
I sucked toes because my mom's foot smelled like ass.
It's like, fuck you, mom.
I was at Gateway.
I hated you.
I hated you. Post Malone.
I
Nice.
hate that.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
We've talked
Yeah.
about it. We've talked
Talked
about
about
our proposal for Post Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've heard about the proposal, Bieber, if you want
You
in,
can get in.
Get on in.
get on in.
Get up in that.
Oh, there will be room for you. We'll make it.
No.
Make
Because
room.
we got the feet, we got the typus, we've got the
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
with the
that.
head, and then we've got the.
I was involved in
hug.
somehow.
Yeah,
I
you were
can't-
like a good
You're
like
the
I
moral
can
support.
embrace
The
him.
moral support. Yeah, there you
Give him a
go.
good embrace.
Someone had hurt him, and I'm gonna make sure he's okay.
Yeah, you're gonna make sure he's okay.
You're gonna make sure he's okay at the end of our
like
of our
his hair
journey.
and just hold
Yeah.
him and nuzzle his face. Like a
It's
precious
okay,
man he
Posty. I
is.
have you.
It's okay, Posty. I got you.
Got you, baby girl.
Just start singing to him or something.
Yeah. You never had the embrace of a
You
large
could-
man.
You could do like the song that's like, ooh, I fall apart. You could be like, ooh, we'll fall apart because you falling apart together and growing together.
together. We're gonna sing together now, Posty.
Posty pose.
Has anyone seen him downtown? He's always downtown now.
No,
I
we've
want
been looking. I work downtown. I wait. And I'm like waiting for him to like come to me and he's like, hey, I need a loan. And I'm like, yes.
Give this man his
Let's
money.
do
Give
it.
this man his money.
He needs his money and he needs it right
Need
now.
it now.
Call JG.
I got me.
Wes
Oh,
is in it
that's
too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be the observer of Wes. You
You
can
can-
hold Wes.
You can hold
Yeah.
him.
I need support supporting
He needs
Post
support.
Malone.
Yeah, because I mean, Post Malone will probably be a lot to support.
Honestly,
So
He
If
looks
back up.
he looks
Yeah.
broken.
And
yeah.
if we're being honest, our jobs are pretty insane and pretty a lot of work, but it's not as bad as and hard as a job as having to comfort Post Malone afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna need a lot of cuddles, and I'm kind of stressed about it.
Yeah.
He will need
Yeah.
a lot of
Lots
cuddles.
It's
And
a big man.
honestly,
He needs some cuddles.
I think we've agreed that a lot of us girls are not big cuddlers. You're a cuddler. Kind of.
More or less.
More or less.
I don't love
You're not.
cuddling.
You're.
Uh,
Depends.
Stony is a cuddler, so I cuddle.
Stony. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only person I've ever liked cuddling was Devin, but even when we sleep, we don't cuddle together.
Oh, I snuggle Stony at night.
See,
It gets too hot for me.
Oh, I wait until he falls asleep and then I turn.
Yeah.
I am fucking freezing all the time usually, and Marshall's not. So I'm all up in
You're
that.
like,
Not even for the cuddles. I
Honestly,
just want heat.
Marshall seems like the perfect guy to cuddle when you're cold because he's so fluffy almost.
And he's
Yeah.
always hot, but
That makes sense.
he hates it
What?
because I'm cold. And so he'll subtly
He's like,
just
"What the
move
fuck?"
away, and I'll follow him. And then he'll get mad because he's on the edge, and I'm in the entire bed.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have
I'm winning.
Dose cats that also sleep in my bed because Here's
The
like
cats.
you can have cats and pretend that they don't want to sleep in your bed, but they make it on there
They do
regardless
it.
of how you want it.
You can't
I
control
want
unless
them
you
on my bed
yeah, no,
anyway,
you can't.
so
You
it
just
doesn't
can't.
matter. But you know, they're there. So even if I'm not trying to snuggle Stony, I have at least one cat that is
Oh, that's a
trying to be in my face. Yeah, only one, because both of my cats mostly like Stony more, but one of them likes me sometimes.
Isn't that like the worst when you wanted the cat and then they choose everyone but you?
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
like,
Mac.
fuck
Mac
you.
is the one that likes me, and I'm like, Mac, you touch him once and he follows you around until you like pet him for hours.
Mm.
You can't just like pet him once and be like, hey, bye. No, he is like, you touched me?
Oh, you touched me? You want to keep?
I am here.
So we can't just go over Salty Frank's comment because that's pretty
Yeah, that's
fucking...
fine. What is it?
Frank's comment? I think his fans get mad at people when they make jokes about him and say, hey, leave post. That's why we like having you around, Salty Frank.
Bieber is indeed a cuddler. I am too.
Both are cuddlers.
Here's the
that's
thing.
great.
I'm a
You don't get too
cuddler.
hot?
I am a cuddler when we're not trying to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Stoney's a cuddler
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the time. He needs constant affection. I'm not a constant affection giver.
I'm a cuddler, I've realized, when I'm really like fucked up. Usually, I remember when I
Yeah,
so when we were
it's
over at
different.
Mason's that one time, and then Amanda was there, and we were super fucked up, but she was like texting me, and she's like, "Hey," and that was when Holly and Devin first started having
Having their thing.
and I was like, "Go, do your thing,
But then
go,
that's
do
for
your
so
thing," and then Amanda
Yeah.
was like, "Please," because you were like, "Should we go? He has a car."
Because it was hard because Amanda didn't tell me what she wanted, and like I really liked Devin, but we weren't going to do anything that night because of like women once a month reason. So I wasn't planning on doing anything. So that's why I was like, oh, Kat. And I knew like maybe they wanted to do something. So I was like, Cass, let's go. And you're like, no, you go. And I was like, Caskia, let's go. And she's like, no, go. And I was like, fuck it, it's 4 a.m. I'm leaving.
Going. It was because Amanda was like typing on her phone and like texting me and being like, "Hey, will you wait for me to like sober up and then I can drive you home and everything because I don't want to be left alone." Because she's like, "Because I might do something that I regret." And I was like, "Fair enough." And so Amanda spooned me. I was a little spoon, and it was actually really great. Yeah. It was amazing, and I was like so fucked up that I was like, "This is great. I'm gonna sleep now." And we kicked Mason out of his bed.
Snuggling your girls is different.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
was
you're drunk.
Especially
Very
drunk
true.
snuggling your girls.
I will snuggle a girl any day of the week.
Honestly.
Cass and I snuggled in Vegas once for like 5 minutes, and then I got up and walked away, and that was a weird situation, but it was nice while it lasted. Well, I had to leave the party that they were talking about because someone said something rude to me, and I left.
I
Was it
forgot
Jesus?
about that.
Huh?
Was it Jesus?
No, it was Chris.
Oh yeah,
it was
well,
that Chris thing.
Well, I
Yeah.
know it was Chris, but he was dressed up as Jesus. That's
Oh,
why I was
he
trying
was
to
dressed
think
as
of it.
Jesus.
I didn't even remember that. I just remember him being rude to me and me saying, fuck you, and leaving.
It was so funny. So Chris.
I didn't say that. I just looked at him and I was like, excuse me? And then I left.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
but
Go.
it was really funny because at that same party that me and Devin were at, I don't remember the girl's name, but her and Chris were having a thing going on.
Oh, yeah!
And it was so weird. It was very weird. It was very not expected and not like the duo I would see ending the night. But me and Devin were on the stairs and she was like, "Oh, can I get past you guys?" And I'm like, "Sure." And like I don't know if she knew Chris's name because she was like, Jesus, where are you?" And I was like hanging out with Devin, and I was like, I had like literally stopped the conversation, and I was like,
You're like, hold up.
"Are you talking about Chris?" And she's like, "I don't know, whoever Jesus is, like dressed up as." And I was like, I was like, "Ew." First of all, ew, but like, okay. And
Fucking
then,
name, it's Jesus.
Jesus.
like, I feel like that's just like the most like cliche. You go to a Halloween party, you don't know the person's
Jesus.
name, but you know who they're dressed up as, so you're like, "Jesus, where are you?"
And
And
does that
then he
say
grew up.
something about that person that she slept with a guy who's dressed up as Jesus? No one else?
You can
I
scream out Jesus Christ during sex, and it is 100% applicable.
It's
actually,
perfect.
That's a
But
good
the only
point.
thing I would say about this is that the particular person that was dressed as Jesus, I think it says a lot about someone to have done anything with him.
No, 100%. I know that guy.
I mean, it might be that I'm mad still, from 6 months ago, but next time you guys see him, ask him if it's okay for me to bully Nate now.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to ask him that.
I'll ask him.
I'll ask him myself.
You go in ready to fight. Is it okay for me to bully Nate?
Hey, so Devin, right? Does he do music?
Yes, I know. I need to talk to him about getting us an intro made.
Because I think I have him on Facebook, and I saw like an event he's doing soon.
Is he doing an event?
No, he released his EP recently.
Maybe that's what it
That
was.
was what it was. He was
Well,
really
shout it out.
promoting
Fuck
it.
it.
Yeah, my cute boyfriend. My boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
My boyfriend.
Deutschland, the boyfriend.
Deutsche friend.
My Deutsche friend. We doink sometimes. Sorry.
I'm just gonna nod yes to everything. That's honestly
That's
smart.
James. Yes, James. And when you're doing that, you should listen to my new boyfriend's EP.
Yeah.
His name is Devin Ferris, and it's called Midnight Drive, and 3 songs are on there. But my favorite one is Too Close But Not Close Enough.
Oh,
Or Not Far Enough. Something like that. It's a long name. Stay is also really good. They're really good.
he has a really good voice.
He's a really good voice, and I still remember that night at the party.
We're like,
Cause like, okay, so you know when someone like tells you they're in a band and you're like, ew, gross, okay, you're in a band. and
Play
you're
Wonderwall.
oh right, and here's the Wonderwall.
Here's the Wonderwall. Or you're like, oh, okay, and then like
Alright.
normally their music is like not good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like telling someone you have a podcast.
I don't
It's
understand.
so true.
Yeah,
I don't tell people anymore. Like, what do you do for fun? I got a podcast. Like, so does everyone else. I'm like, fuck.
You're like, damn, okay, you got me there.
literally that same thing. Somebody told me that. I was like, okay. And so, like, it was funny because then, like, he was, like, going to sing a song from, like, they were coming out with an EP, like, later this year when they get their masters. Sun Sleep. But it was funny because he started singing. Amanda literally, like, drunkenly was, like, slammed by my leg. And she's like, if you don't fuck him, I will.
Yeah, literally. And then she like Amanda looked over at me and was like, "Do you?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's surprisingly really good." And we're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What the hell?"
It was so fucking, it was
I was
hilarious.
shook because I remember hearing him sing before at a separate party before, and it wasn't as good for some reason.
I think it was because the guitar Mason has wasn't, he was more focused on getting the guitar, because I remember even that same party, he was like
Yeah.
tuning it for
Yeah.
like an hour, because like it wasn't like set up right, and so I know that's partially what like got him like not really singing very well, but no, like he's too good, and I hate it, because it's so fucking good, and I'm like, damn.
Embarrassed. Yeah, there
I
we go.
love it. Yeah.
There we go.
Where is it?
There we go. Devin
The third
Barris.
one.
Third, yeah. There we
Yeah.
go.
I'm not vision.
That's my man's. He's really good.
Plug that EP. Am
You
I
have
right?
220 mutual friends?
I have like,
What the?
We got like 5,000 people.
You have 5,000 friends? I don't know
damn.
more than 50 people that I can, like, say their name to their face.
Isn't
Which one
this
is it
your
right here?
combined
Spotify?
one?
Yeah, it's Spotify.
Spotify, yeah.
Did you guys know he's in a relationship with Holly?
Oh my god! Ew. Like, you just... Ooh.
There's the link if you guys
Nice.
want.
Yeah, if you want to listen
Check it
to
out.
it, it's really good.
Well, you listen to us talk about
If you
books,
check it out and you can
relationships.
comment, tell them where you heard it from.
Yeah.
Tell them,
Maybe
tell
he'll
the
shout us
people.
out.
Maybe he'll come on the podcast. And talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
music.
It'd be
How about
great.
that?
And hopefully he'll make us
An intro and
an
outro.
outro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something good. I think, me and Cass were saying it'd be really good at, like, the end of, like, the intro, we do, like, a pop of, like, a wine cork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, something like with wine.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, like, because you know, like, with Billie Eilish, how she has, like, apparently I watched, like, an interview with her brother who, like, produces a lot of her music. What they do for, like, a lot of their music is they find weird sounds and they, like, put it in her songs. So if you listen, there's certain sounds and the song from like everyday life. So like maybe we can do like swishing of like a book. I don't know how like well we can do it because like I feel like when you make like books don't really make noise. I'm wondering like how we can like flipping of a page.
And just,
like a flip paperback. Oh, like when you
Yeah.
get like a book and you kind of hold it like this and you like like you.
Because you can put that on like the ASMR mode thing.
Oh,
They can catch it really good.
ASMR. Yeah, he has like a really good like microphone and everything too. But I don't want to.
You can do it later then, James.
It literally. Why don't you just? Do you not have Spotify on your phone?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and James, I was gonna say something about relationships. They are confusing until you get in the right one, and then it just makes sense.
Yeah. When you find the right one, I feel like it's less confusing. Allie doesn't seem like she has. Allie looks like she has a lot to say about that.
I feel
relationships are confusing as shit, no matter what.
I feel like it's
Actually,
not
I kinda
quite
have
the
to agree with
relationship.
that.
It's people are confusing. So
Fair.
it's hard to
Yeah.
be with someone intimate and like know everything about the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know. Stoney and I have been together for 5 years, and he still surprises me every day.
Keeping you on your toes.
Honestly, though, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I like spend a majority of my energy just handling myself. So like
Right.
handling another person on top of that in an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
I think for me, the relationship I'm in right now is unique to me, like because I've never had this before.
Yeah.
We're together, but it's more about we're just subtly trying to help each other be the best versions of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I've never had that before because usually it's always like
No
something
cap.
wild or
Yeah.
weird or different, but like it's just more like, you know, what can I do to help
I wouldn't be
you
friends with
achieve
her
what you
anymore,
want?
James.
What can I do to help achieve you? Like
That's
that-
nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I think like what you said, like when you find the right relationship, either if it's like they're helping you more or that you're helping them more or you're both building each other up. I think
Yeah.
it just depends on the two people.
Yeah, like for me and Stoney, we've been together since high school, so for both of us, like we've been having to learn how to be adults together, and that's difficult.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe one of us is a little bit of a better adult. I won't tell you which one.
But you can all guess.
Is that a yoke?
Is that a yoke? Is that a yoke? Is that a yoke? Is that a yoke? Is this sidecar? Is that a yoke?
But
What's up? Trump is all.
Trumpet.
That's
That's
a solid name.
That's a good name.
That's a good name. But isn't it also sacrilegious to then look at a picture of Trump?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. Hot
look at this
take.
swimming suit I found. Look at this swimming suit.
Oh my god, this swimming suit.
Oh yeah.
So for our Vegas, last year we had like a themed swimsuit. It was neon colors. This year we're doing animal prints. I'm doing a cow. Everyone's you're doing lizard.
I'm
Probably-
doing
you're doing
the
lizard,
snake skin.
Snake
I'm
skin.
gonna do zebra.
Zebra.
Yes!
And we
It's
were
Donald Trump with his eyes and then his
Grab her
mouth.
by the trunk.
Grab her by the trunk.
so we wish we had a fifth person to do the Trump animal skin.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Forrest, would you like to join us on our girls in Vegas trip and wear the Trump?
That's fair.
Forrest.
Only if I get to wear that exact.
No, yeah, no,
Yeah.
literally.
The whole
The
time.
whole time.
Like, we'll get you 4 of them.
I'm going to Taco Bell and
Yeah.
in that and only staying at Taco Bell.
Honestly,
I'm just
Honestly,
gonna
I
sit
feel
like
like
this
eventually
while
they'll be
I'm
like,
just eating like Crunchwrap Supremes. Hey, can I get another tequila Baja Blast?
oh my god.
be like another one.
It says when you cut, you might as well just punch yourself in the nuts.
I feel like
Is that a jewel?
Is that a jewel?
Is that a jewel?
is that a jewel?
No.
Can I get a
'cause
jewel?
Jewels are fucking basically illegal now.
Are they?
True.
Oh,
All
yeah,
closed loop
yeah.
pod systems are illegal.
Is that allowed?
Why? Is that allowed? Is that allowed?
It's because of some teenagers ruining it for all of
Honestly,
us.
dueling in the bathroom.
Damn
Alright, fuck them.
No,
Bars
it's
illegal then too?
puff bars are not
Why?
because
Aren't they like?
there's no you can't buy new cartridges for them.
It's a one and done.
It's a one and done.
It's like a pack of cigarettes. Once you smoke them all, they're done.
Basically, why
You can't
puff
charge them. You
bars
can't do anything.
How did we meet? Well, my boyfriend was best friends with Cass's boyfriend for their entire childhoods. Okay,
Yeah.
from like junior high and on,
Yeah.
And then none of us have an accent. We're from Utah.
We have a Utah accent.
It's a Utah accent.
We don't know how to say the letter T. So
Doesn't exist.
Around here.
You want to go?
Not quite Southern.
You want to go Layton?
I want to go Layton.
Want to go see the mountains? Yeah.
But
anyways, you're from Texas. I have family
She's
from
family in
Texas.
Texas.
What part of Texas? They're from Fort Worth and the Arlington area.
my uncle used to coach the Cowboys
Oh,
for 25 years.
That's okay. I'm a Redskins fan,
Austin,
so
Texas.
fuck you.
I'm racist.
What's up? In Austin, Texas. Close
Austin,
enough.
close enough.
Fort
Yeah.
Worth, yeah.
It kind of isn't, but it's fine. But anyways, so your boyfriend?
Oh yeah,
knew
my
her
boyfriend was best friends with her boyfriend when they were like children. Okay, 7th grade. But then anyways, so then when I started dating Stoney, Nate then started dating Cass like a year later, and then we've been best friends ever since. And through Cass, I met Holly and Allie.
And I met Allie through my neighborhood. She lived across the street.
Okay, we both moved in. We were both the new people in
They
this
had a party
bountiful
for us, actually.
Mormon neighborhood, and they just kind of threw us together. And I wasn't Mormon. I was one of the 2 families in the whole neighborhood not Mormon.
Because you're what?
Episcopalian.
Episcopalian.
But somehow I was coerced to go on all of these fucking young women's trips.
Of course you are.
That's what happens when you live in Utah.
Cass and I and this other girl would just stay up all night talking in the tent about like sex and eating disorders.
We're not Mormon.
Just like loud.
By the alcohol in our hands, we're not Mormon.
And we would like we also snuck out one time, I think, or was that? Yeah, we snuck out one time because we weren't allowed to bring cards, right?
Right.
And we went and played some strip poker in a field. That was pretty great.
That was a fun time. We were also looking for Tess because she just fucking disappeared.
No, she disappeared, and it was just us.
It was
literally just us because she just disappeared, and we were like, what the fuck, dude?
Monkey just says savages.
Savages.
And then
We
I met
met
Holly in high school.
And then we all know Forrest because Wes. So what you broke?
I know. They met you through Forrest, right?
Yeah.
So that means
because Forrest was me and me and Cass's best friend Kai, and they
actually.
So if you guys have watched the
wasn't.
podcast for a long time, Forrest Brothers Kai has been on a couple times, and
we went to high school with him, and we're still best friends, but that's how we know Forrest and now Wes.
Yeah.
Can we just say Kai's Snapchat might be the best Snapchat in the
No,
world?
literally, it is so good. And I talk about it all the time, and I'll always comment and be like, dude, you got it. You have to, like, put all this stuff somewhere, because people will love it. And he's so funny.
He did one TikTok, and it got, like, 800,000 views, but then it got taken off.
Because he had a condom, and he's like, when you finally get that forbidden yogurt. And
It's so funny. I was dying.
Yeah.
I almost peed myself.
I always say that Forrest and Kai, Forrest is here, so he'll hear it. They are 2 of the most uniquely funny people that I've ever met in my life, but they don't fucking do it.
Right,
they don't
what the
send
hell?
it.
You guys
I get
gotta
shit
send
from
it.
Forrest all the time. Yesterday he sent me a picture of him in the bathtub, like with all these bubbles, and he just had a whiskey bottle, and he's like, living my best life. And I'm like, post that shit. Fucking people find it so funny.
Really?
Yeah.
And like all like the ass pics or something where he's like,
Yeah.
They both do so many ass
So
pics.
funny.
Oh, it's great.
So
See,
funny.
the thing that's funny about Forrest and Kai is that whenever you say certain things, it makes them both, like, uncomfortable, and it's my favorite.
And they'll be like...
Because, like, I can make Kai uncomfortable all the time, which is great, but then, like, last time when we did the Star Wars podcast, when I was making a joke about his paps and being like, oh, the only paps I go to is my pap smears.
That was so fucking good.
That's, like, my goal, because they're both, like, the same humor.
It's actually impressive to get Forrest uncomfortable, because, like...
That's my specialty.
It's
I know how to
tough.
make people
It's
uncomfortable.
tough. He full sends.
No, it's like literally the whole. I do. With also, Romina has to say the same thing about my relationship. I am the reason that they ended up getting together because Kai was too pussy to like tell her or anything, and she was like, I really like him, but like I don't know. And so I was hanging out with Kai one day and ditching quite a lot of classes. Don't do it, kids.
The book of the day is A Court of Thorns and Roses, but we're on our friend Kai right
We're
now.
on our friend Kai.
Not
And
literally, but one.
Sadly.
But,
Sadly, I wish he was here and we were
gladly.
all on him, but basically he was then dropping me off at school, and so he drove, and then I was asking him, and I was like, so, like, you know, how do you feel about Romina and all this stuff? And he was like, I don't know, you know the thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, like, and then I was like, come on, you
She's
gotta
fine.
tell me. I was like, you gotta tell me. And he's like, why are you asking? Literally, I go, pull his keys out of the ignition, and shove it down my shirt.
Got him.
And then I was like, I'm not giving it back until you tell me the truth. And he was like, and he like started panicking. I was like feeling bad about to give it to him, and then he's like, okay, yeah, I like her. What the fuck? Okay. And then I was like, that's all I wanted to hear. And he's like, don't tell Romina. And I was like, I never promised anything. I ran out and called Romina almost immediately and was like, he likes you back. Do it.
Which is hilarious. But it also, to go back to the book, that's such a Arvathan, or whatever her name is, thing to do.
Aramantha? Where she like grabbed the keys, put it down her shirt, and was like,
She's like, oh, here, I'll give you these 3 tasks to break the curse off of Tamlin. But then she goes like, I never said when.
I never said when, bitch.
So that's basically what you did, because you're like, I never said I wouldn't tell.
Literally, though.
That's funny.
Circling back to the book.
Can I just say one thing about the book?
Yes.
Hands down, my favorite character was actually Nesta.
Yes.
That was actually a lot of like character development that I was not expecting.
Right?
When she was so nice to her sister, she's like,
Literally.
tell me everything. Like, actually being a big sister instead of a little bitch.
Yeah.
And then she kind of like apologizes in a way, and it's just kind of like, I'm sorry that you literally had to do everything when you were the youngest.
Worst character, her dad?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
guy can fuck himself.
He kind of redeems himself in the last book,
But, kind
but
of.
barely. To a
No.
point where you're just like, okay, he's not as much of a pussy as I thought he was.
Did they talk about the mom more? Cause
No.
No, they don't.
The only thing you know about the mom is that she was just some rich mom that just kind of wanted to party all the time and just gave birth to 3 daughters.
yeah.
Literally.
That's
And they
like her
said
whole
that,
thing.
because that was what Nesta said, right? Was that she hates her dad because he let her die because he refused to go and like look for a cure or something like that.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like, I feel like Nesta is just like
That's
a
right,
bitter
you're too
person,
much.
so she
Yeah.
just uses any little thing. Because I feel like in Nesta's mind, she just feels like nothing's impossible. And that's why you love Nesta, is because she has like that spirit that's like, I am a bad bitch, and I know it, and I can do anything I want. And so that's why I
Yeah.
think she always had like a thing against her father, is because she was like, if it was her in that situation, she would have sent out millions of dollars and would have done anything to get her mom back.
Yeah.
But see, with with their dad, I don't think he like thought like that.
Yeah.
So how did
So-
she remember everything? She was wearing that necklace? Was that
No,
what it
she
was?
just she had a strong will. Yeah.
You find out later in the
Oh.
books she plays a much bigger part, and there's actually something that happens to her where
Yeah.
you're just kind of like,
Like-
you are so badass.
No, like what
This is
happened
what we were talking about
with the tuna.
with the tuna.
Let's not point her out. Anyways, but like no, because it's just because Nessa's just such a strong-headed and like a
Hungry.
very strong woman. Like she just has like so much emotion and like everything like that. She's just strong-willed, and that's why it never worked on her.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
if they probably would have done the same thing to Feyre, like it would have
Strategic
gone
snap.
away pretty quickly because she's kind of the same. But Nessa just like is such a bad bitch. She like, of course
She's so
you can, yeah, and it correlates more as to why that didn't work later in the book, but you'll find out why.
So one thing that they kind of brushed over really quick was, so when Farah and Nesta were talking, and then like the other sister and the dad kind of showed up,
Yeah.
and they were all kind of talking, and Farah was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. This is why." It said like kind of that like they started remembering too.
Yeah.
Well, I think
So-
it's because like it's like a glamour. So like
Right.
once like they know like where she's going and why, it made them remember why she was there in the first place.
Okay.
It made her remember that they don't have an aunt that's really rich, because if they did, they probably would have gotten out of their financial situation sooner.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
definitely.
Because like logically, if you had a sick dying aunt, that aunt would have taken care of you after you got
Yeah, of
financially
course.
broke. But I think it's just because she mentioned what happened to her, and she said, "Remember what I told you," and like I think that just like triggered them awake
Yeah.
to realize, Oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, and they talk about, like, in, like, the book and stuff like that, just about, because especially, Reese, like, his main power is, like, mind stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, mind control and, like, all that stuff like that. And they talk about kind of how they're only, especially with someone with weaker mind powers, are only able to do it on, like the easily manipulated and just kind of, like, easily accepting of things. And she, no matter what, will be like, no, what the fuck? And go against everything.
Yeah.
Salty break. This is why we wanted you from beginning to end with those fucking quick remarks.
I've said it 100,000 times. I'll say it again. I've never known a person on the planet who is so quick-witted in my life. Like,
quick-witted bastard.
Everything is just
so fucking great.
Honestly.
10 out of 10. Would do again.
Wanna be famous?
Buy followers.
I would not like
lick
to
my
do that.
butt.
I am not a fake bitch. We do everything real
Well,
here.
because the thing is
Follow
about buying those fake followers is that, you'll have followers, but you won't have viewers. The same as, like, people who buy followers on Instagram. It won't make your likes go up.
Yeah.
It won't do anything. Because, like, they're just, like, spam accounts. So it's, like, they don't, obviously they're not going to like your post.
Yeah.
Lick my butt. Hey, what up, Daniel?
Hey, what up?
One thing that because, like, I've been doing the social media stuff for a long time now, and, like, I even, like, have had accounts that have gotten kind of big, but, like, you really find out that, like, doing stuff like that actually hurts you in the long run.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't dumb anymore. Like, people
they know
how social media works, and if you have thousands and thousands of followers, but your picture on Instagram gets 5 likes, like, oh, this is a fake account.
Yeah.
They bought
or
the
if you look at your like, if you go through someone's followers and their followers have 0 followings and 1 follower, or they follow 100 people but have 0 followers, like, a lot of, like, I don't know, for some reason on my book Instagram, Books, Coffee, Bees, by the way, but for some reason that one, I get added to a lot of nude, groups. I mean, a lot of people do, but, like,
nude groups?
Yeah, like, they're 18 plus groups, and it's like a group of 6 people. Like, they have to request it to add me to the group. But, like, if I look at the people, they're all spam people. They don't have any followers. They're, like, following 1,000 people. And they're like, this is a place where you can put your nudes. Yeah, they're spam bots, but they want your nudes.
We had something that we won't be returning to ever again because of how people acted. We had an Instagram contest. And it was an art contest.
Yeah.
How it worked was, like, you submit your art, whatever art form you want to do. Whoever had the most likes on our Instagram by the end of it won $100.
Oh, shit.
And it was going pretty good for a while. And then we started seeing people would put in, like, a submission, and then it would get, like, 600 likes, like, within, like, 30 minutes. And, like, because, like, there's apps you can download that you...
Oh, that will give you likes.
Yeah, I did it one time before, like, for my photography one, because I wanted to see if it would actually help me grow.
You're right, Trump
it's
is
not
all
worth
up.
it.
Box twine and tuna.
This one is a little themed.
It's all night and cool. And then we also have our second one, which is our usual choice.
It's our classic
Our
Moscato
Moscato
Sangria.
That's usually what we choose, but we also wanted to get another one so we can make our own rosé.
Yes.
If we want.
Yeah, that is
That's
why.
what I've been doing.
But anyways, like, you were saying that they would, like, just use, like, bots to give themselves like to win $100.
And, like, the only time that ever actually worked was on the early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
Because there was a time period where YouTube's algorithm was based off subscribers. So if you bought subscribers, your videos would get pushed. But it doesn't work anymore. You could have 1 million subscribers. You could be partnered with YouTube, but if you're only getting 1,000 views a video, you're not making any money.
No, literally.
People
are saying, well, who was it? Like,
James Charles, when he had that thing with Tati or whatever.
And
he lost all of them, and all of a sudden they, like, jumped back, almost doubled, because he bought followers.
Them. Yeah. And, like, I know that, like, what David Dobrik was saying, that, like, he basically makes, if he just goes off of, like, viewers and stuff and doesn't get, like, as much ads, basically he makes as much as he was making when he worked at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as much of a lucrative business as it used to be for people.
Well, that's why if you notice that now they're making it even worse with YouTube because they have not, like, you can't, because, like, the thing about David Dobrik is he makes so much money anyways. He has an ad at the beginning. That's it.
Yeah.
But everyone that's in, like, the vlog squad, if they have videos, but and also if your video's over 10 minutes, you get more money.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they put tons of ads in between those, like, 10 minutes, but now they have it where you can do 2 ads, so you're doubling your profit because you have to watch 2 ads. Fun fact, to get away from having to watch 2 ads or like to hit the skip button twice, if you watch the first one past like the 5 seconds, if you watch it for 10 seconds, it'll just skip both.
Yeah.
But it's just like how YouTube is now. It's like it's just so much more like complicated on how to make money. Like you can't just do it on followers alone. It's like views, ads.
Let's just make a new YouTube app, but like a knockoff.
Yeah. I think
probably
Go
is
off of their old algorithm.
Yeah, make some money.
Look at
let's see here. So a couple things. Damn, you guys gonna have a good time. That's right, Trump.
We always do.
We always have a good
we
time.
always got
We're going out after this too, so.
I just bought Lone Star a Texan beer. Sounds good.
Okay.
Anyone here familiar with the Lewandowski wines? Utah local guy makes great wines.
Ooh, we
No.
love local.
Send us
Yeah,
a
you
link.
love
Yeah, send us a link.
Send us a
We'll
link.
probably
I'll
get some
look
for
it
next
up
time.
right now. While
And
I'm
Salty
still
brings
there.
up a good point, especially with Twitch. Like, this channel's been now almost 2.5 years old.
Yeah.
It's not growing on Twitch. It's weird. You
Yeah.
have to have a community and people who actually give a shit about you. Buying or trading followers, which we did early on because we thought that was what was going to help us, didn't do shit for us.
Oh,
Like,
it's
honestly.
Ruth Lewinsky.
Oh.
Because that name is also a soccer player.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like, what the fuck?
Yes, I am Action
Yeah.
Bronson's little brother.
I love Action Bronson.
Yeah.
I don't like his like music, but I like his YouTube videos.
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh wait, I don't think I posted it. When we went to Area 51, I was walking around and I was wearing clothes that Action Bronson probably would wear. It was just like a normal, because he wears Carhartt a lot,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of shirts that look like Carhartt.
Yeah.
So I was wearing like a black shirt, a beanie, and just like some like kind of baggy pants. And we're walking past, and this person's like, "Oh shit, it's Action Bronson at Area 51." And I'm like, I look at him, yo, what's up, dog?
Yo, what's up, guy? Yo, it's Action Bronson.
I actually have this really funny idea that me and Forrest have talked about, but I think I'm just going to call because you can pitch some companies, and I'm going to try and get a hold of Vice and see if I can do this. I want to do like a 10-episode thing called Looking for My Dad, and I'm going to go search for Action Bronson.
You should do, honestly, that would be so good.
Because like it's kind of like we do I put up a picture and like I do look a lot like Action Bronson, like especially if I had tattoos.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
so I think the joke would be hilarious
It'd be so
if
funny. Looking for my dad. Or pretend to be him in public places.
I don't like doing that because like that's I don't want to like portray someone else and like ruin their.
Yeah, there was something that Billie Eilish actually just came out recently and was like, hey, stop pretending, because a lot of like that was like a trend to like try and pretend to be her in public places.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need you to stop doing that because it ruins my image and stuff like that, because sometimes people will do certain things that they wouldn't do or like don't exactly endorse, but people can then say, because they're like lookalikes and they say that they are, there's like
There was a
no way to
guy.
differentiate.
I don't know if you guys follow the YouTube boxing stuff much, but there was the last one, the KSI and Paul or whatever. It was a big event. Like all the famous like YouTubers and like social media people were there. Yeah. There was a guy who looks and has similar tattoos to Ed Sheeran. Or Sheeran, or however you say his last name. Yeah, Trump's on it.
Yeah.
He
Trump's on it.
He went there and pretended to be him, and they gave him special treatment because he was, like, everyone just thought it was Ed.
What?
Like, they brought him in, they put him in, like, the front row, like, everyone was taking pictures with him, like, he was, like, playing a character.
Yeah.
And then, like, I just think stuff like that's kind of fucked up, because, like, I mean, the special treatment, I mean, that'd be cool, right? Like, oh, I did this, but, like, when you start actually like taking pictures with fans and stuff, like
Then it's like,
that means a lot to that fan.
Yeah.
And you're just fucking with them.
It's kind of playing
you know?
with their emotions and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, well, we have a friend that looks... They don't actually look that much alike, but...
But when he dressed up like him.
Yeah, so we have a friend that looks kind of like Post Malone. Mostly Post Malone before he's like cut his hair short and before he had all the face tattoos and stuff. But he went out in Vegas during Halloween as Post Malone because he was like, this was like a quick and easy costume that I could do in a hotel room. Right? And then he was Post Malone for Halloween and he was like, so a lot of people like actually thought I was Post Malone. And he was like, I took a lot of pictures with people, but then I'd be like, I'm not Post Malone.
Just let you
like,
know.
I'm not actually Post Malone.
Some people think you're Channing Tatum, always asking for photos and autographs. If you actually looked like Channing Tatum, high school me would probably be like, oh my god. She's the man.
You know what I watched the other day that I forgot that he was in? The first Step Up movie? And it's so fucking
Oh,
That's his wife.
Yeah,
That is
so good.
ex-wife now?
Ex-wife,
yeah, I
they
forgot
got
about that.
divorced.
Oof.
Why did I say it like that? Divorced. Got divorced. What's the difference between a pizza boy and a gynecologist? Oh, wait. The difference that they have in common?
What? Can we try again?
But yeah, let's try again.
What?
Try again, Duck Hunter.
I want to know the
11:55.
joke, but just, refresh.
I'm interested in this joke because it has pizza and gynecologist. So two things as a woman that I can relate to.
Do you like ducks?
Oh, do you like ducks?
We have a friend that likes ducks.
His license plate literally says, like, duck 'em.
It literally says duck 'em.
Duck 'em.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. The Yeehaw Boys. Right?
Uh-huh.
He's our only yeehaw boy.
He's our only full yeehaw boy.
Yeah, he's
Other ones are
yeehaw
like kind of yeehaw.
all the time.
Welcome back.
Did you just hit the whoa coming in here?
Yes, I did. I always do. That's how I enter every building.
Respect.
It's really impressive, honestly.
All of our friends really are yeehaw friends, kind of.
They're like kind of, you know,
They're-
he's the
they're
full
yeehaw.
yeehaw.
We have a full yeehaw, and then like we have like a gradient of yeehaw.
Yeah, so like, you know, some
Stoney and Nate are like the very,
trucks.
very end of yeehaw. Like they're not very yeehaw
Yeah.
unless they're in a yeehaw situation.
And then
Yeah.
they're full yeehaw.
And then they're like, let's yeehaw.
Yeah,
bitches.
if we go to the cabin, it's like
yeehaw.
full
to
ass
the max.
so you guys have don't think that we've been on here since we went to
The cabin.
the
yeah.
cabin. It's been a long time. We played Jenga, and it was like True to Dare
It was
Jenga.
awesome. We should play it on here sometime.
We should. It'd be so
We
fun.
should play it on here.
Yeah, but so Nate lost the first game, and he had to. What did he have to do?
Oh, we have
he
to take
jumped
a...
off the balcony.
Oh, did he jump off the balcony?
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought
I
you just had
think
to
he
take a lap, but
he
he jumped
did,
off the
but he
balcony
jumped
to
off the
stop.
balcony.
Start.
Something happened, and we were just like
You had to go
chatting.
naked
We
in
were
the
talking
snow.
about how you had to like jump in the snow, like in your underwear, basically.
Yeah.
Nate opens the door, literally full sprints out the door, and jumps off the balcony right into the snow. And we were like,
Hell yeah.
And we were not expecting. He's just like, all right, open the door, boys, and we just see him book it and just jump over the edge, like dive over.
yeah,
And it's like this
And then
tall
he-
balcony.
really good.
Like, we're in like a pretty nice big cabin,
yeah,
and it's like this balcony, and he just like
yeah. And then he climbed back up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. in his underwear.
Yeah.
In the snow in the mountains.
In December.
It also at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Full send.
Literally.
He was pretty wasted. He wasn't as wasted
He was not
as he
as
should have
wasted
been.
as he could have been for that situation.
He was way more wasted later.
Yeah, later
than he
on.
was at the time.
Later on.
I mean, like, sober Nate would have done that.
yeah,
But, like,
he's very full send.
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I
But
see mine,
honestly, it was,
Some white wine, please.
that was wild.
That was a good time.
We had a really great time. It was so fun. We always have a good time.
It's
Hey,
always
Googles, if you want to do a YouTube poop for this podcast, the Read Between the Lines,
That'd be cool.
that'd be cool.
a YouTube poop.
Yeah.
What
He
is-
makes YouTube poops. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No, I don't know.
They're like... They've been around for a long time, but they're like really funny edits of like just random videos.
I would love
like
that.
those.
Yeah.
I was trying to make one. So for Christmas, I'm gonna flex real quick. I got a MacBook,
Oh,
and
shit.
if
From
any
his
of you
Mac.
guys are fond of like video editing and stuff like that, you would know that Mac is king. And
Apple
so
has the easiest.
obviously, I was like, I'm gonna go and try and edit one of our videos and stuff. But the thing is that our videos are so long, and I'm only used to editing audio mostly, and so video with the audio was kind of hard, and I have not finished it. But I'm like cutting out like the funny parts of our first episode. I think it's like Alice in Wonderland. But
Crazy Rich Asians, fake fan.
Excuse me, I'm gonna be on this.
I hate to tell you this, but there's the door.
I'm sorry, guys. I can no longer be on this podcast. I am going to turn in my resignation.
We take a lot of things. You don't even have to read the book, but at least know the sequence of what we did.
Know what we did. The first one that was downloaded onto YouTube.
Was that you? Well,
it was Alice in Wonderland.
That's dumb. I'm just kidding.
That's dumb. But I tried doing it. I kind of stopped halfway in just because school started, and so I haven't really had time to go over it, because also I don't want to try and connect it to my headphones. That just seems like a hassle. Too much work. You know?
Because
if you want to do that, that would be awesome, because that is literally my dream and what I was trying to accomplish. But I'm not that talented. So please. It would mean a lot.
Are you the only one that got your ass eaten on Valentine's? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yo, chat, am I the only... Did
anyone get your ass eaten?
No. I fell asleep on a couch.
I ate a whole bunch of steak with blue cheese on it, and then I went home, and I laid in my bed, and I went to sleep.
I almost got my ass eaten, but it was just because
it was too close.
It's just the buttholes really close.
I didn't get my ass eaten.
You got your ass eaten?
The other day, I saw a car that had "I eat ass" on the bumper.
Perfect.
I love that person.
Should have flagged him down. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, I see you eat ass. I'm not into that, but cool.
Cool. Tell me more. Tell me more about the ass eating.
What's up, Steel City? Long time, man.
Long time no see.
What's up?
How important is ass eating?
Not
super important.
I don't like my ass.
Let's just clarify. No. None of us are into that, but like for people who are into that, I would think it's highly important. We had a party, a Halloween party once, and this random guy was there, and he was telling all of our this guy was there, and we didn't know him. He was just like at our party, and like I was sitting down like with our other like friends, and most of them are pretty single, honestly, except for Stoney, obviously, because like Stoney's my boyfriend, you know. Mm-hmm. He's sitting there with his friend and like all of our friends, and he's like, "You guys like don't pretend like you've never had your ass eaten before." And literally everyone was silent. Everyone was like, so. We didn't even know this guy, and he's like fucking talking about this, and we were like,
Jeez.
"Okay,
he said like rim job." He's like, "Don't talk like you've never gotten a rim job before."
Yeah, just like, this guy's like, "Man, don't talk like you've never had like a 9-inch dildo up your ass." Come on. And everyone's like,
wait a minute, because they're all also like yeehaw guys, where they're kind of like eating ass.
Oh,
you know,
they're
like doing it to a girl one thing, but my ass, no.
That's my ass.
May have the G spot, but I swear to God, you touch it
because the girl is
brown pound.
And then our friend is sitting there.
Fucking touch my ass again. I swear to God.
Our friend is sitting there, and he literally looks at the guy. He's like, "No."
Speaking of eating ass, do you still have that video on Twitter where the guy got his face shattered on by a girl? Wait,
I think you can look that up on. I think you can look that up on like porn sites. People are into that.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Reddit.
Or Chunk slipped down there, and I was like, "Whoa, this is different."
That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, that's usually because you kind of gotta like slowly make your way there, but then once you get there,
it's definitely.
You gotta look through it.
My boy is quite hairy. I wouldn't be down.
Oh yeah, he's got
to go down.
Fair. He's got an asshole.
We've all seen it because he shows it to everyone for some reason.
Yep. Yep.
No, one thing I was gonna say about the editing though, like, don't feel discouraged because like even if you still make like short edits of like anything that we do and still put it on YouTube, it's still gonna benefit.
I want a short edit of the pap smear joke that I made on the Star Wars one.
Okay.
That was great. I still think about that as my funniest joke I've ever said.
I don't know. I think the hardest I may have laughed was the tiny butthole stuff.
The tiny butthole.
Because that was just
classic.
I was not expecting it, and that joke went for like 5-6 minutes, and it was all hilarious.
We're just talking about tiny buttholes.
Oh yeah, because it's great when you don't know the story, and then I talk and then we tell the story of it, and it's great. Did you ever hear the story?
You've heard the story of
It's
Tiny
the
Butthole,
one-
of her tiny butthole.
It's the one.
yes, I
Yes,
have.
my tiny butthole.
Yeah.
She has a tiny butthole.
Yes.
But she
Watch the
doesn't
previous
really.
episode.
No,
Or is
no.
it in our Patreon episode that we talk about the tiny butthole?
No, it's in a
No,
regular
it's
one.
regular
It's one of,
episode.
I don't know. I want to say
Well,
it was
on our
either
Patreon,
the
just goes-
Alice in Wonderland or the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
One or the other, yeah.
It was one of the others. It wasn't The Shining, but it was one of the earlier ones.
Honestly, though.
Yeah.
I gotta say, though, the first time I ever got my ass eaten, I was surprised. The thing is it was more of just kind of like, obviously not gonna tell him to stop because he, into it. Have a
You
good
told
time.
this story on either here or
And
Patreon.
Patreon, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Into it, and I was like, I mean, all right. I wasn't as into it, but the thing is, it's like, someone else's pleasure can also be your pleasure. We about that. We out here, mutual shit.
It's 2020.
It's 2020. Immediately called my girls and was like, guess who just got their ass eaten? My ass got munched on.
That's what happened.
That's literally what happened. Immediately. I literally got into my car and was like, oh my god.
We can make, honestly, Bieber, we can make a Patreon just for everyone's butthole story.
Honestly,
And
yeah.
also,
I don't have
you
a
can,
butthole story.
well, we can make a butthole story. But anyway,
We don't need one.
but you can find our other episodes on YouTube. Wes is about to link it right here. But you can find them on YouTube or Twitch, or can't you do it on podcasts on iTunes?
Yeah, any
Any
iTunes,
on
Spotify,
any of that stuff, you can still watch our stuff.
Podbean.
We all out here.
We
Yeah,
got
they're
banned
everywhere.
from Mixer once, but
Yeah,
Just
That's
the
our
first
time.
time.
we back though.
We back.
We back,
What's up,
obviously.
Mixer?
We back.
Represent.
Yes,
I
Mixer,
will
thank
say
you.
the Mixer people were really nice about it.
Yeah.
were they?
Yeah, they were
that's
nice about it.
Well, because
I was kind of blown away though, because I was just I saw the email and it said
Yeah.
reply to try and fight it or whatever, and I'm like, hey, this was our first stream and
we didn't know
we
what
streamed
we were
on other
doing
places and it wasn't a big
It
deal.
wasn't an issue, yeah.
And they're like, well, and then I was like, what was it that we even got banned for? Because it didn't say,
Yeah.
and they linked the sexual explicit content,
Ah.
and I just put what did we do wrong?
What did we do wrong? Please?
you're gonna have to very narrow it down with that kind of podcast.
Yeah.
With our podcast, you're gonna have to tell
'Cause
us
I think there's got to
exactly.
be a barrier, right? If you're naked, sure, that's probably not allowed. If you can see nip, probably not allowed. What else? What's the problem with anything else?
I had a see-through shirt on with a bralette underneath. It was a really cute outfit.
It was adorable.
I was a witch.
Oh yeah, you were, and it was so cute, and it had little sparkles and everything
Yeah.
on it, and she had a cute hat.
Honestly, I
It
didn't
was
think your
adorable.
boobies were out that much anyways.
Honestly, my boobies might be out more than her boobies were.
No, yours is a little bit more
No.
covered.
I will,
But
no, just kidding.
We don't
Sorry,
want to
Mixer.
get banned again.
Sorry, Mixer. Don't ban us.
Mixer, we love
sexual
you.
content.
Now-
I love you, Mixer.
Now we have to
Oh,
dress more
actually,
appropriately.
One of the reasons why is partially a fuck up on my part.
Oh, did we say
I
something
thought no. I thought because Mixer
Yeah,
has
I
a
remember
thing where it says 18 plus. I thought I switched it to it and I didn't.
Oh.
They still said that you can't have any
titties out?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't have much exposed skin on Mixer, but they said if you're on 18 plus, they're a little bit more hey,
A little lenient.
Yeah, they're a little bit more
They're
lenient.
not going to just automatically ban you and be like, fuck you. Honestly.
All right,
What's
so
your
man, I'm
Instagram?
gonna tell you about my worst sexual experience, guys. So
Oh,
I
no.
was to get oral by this girl. She had braces, and her braces got stuck on my pubic hair. I drank a lot of milk before, and I ripped a fat one. Then she pulled away and ripped some of the pubic hair off and was stuck in the braces.
Oh!
I have to say, with having the permanent retainer at the bottom time, I've had a pube
Have you
stuck
ever
in
had a
there.
puke? Yeah, right in there.
I don't have the top ones, but worse, I had one
The
on the
bottom.
bottom.
I have both.
I only,
did
for some
too.
reason, they didn't give me a top one. I think it's because I have a little bit of a gap here. So if I did one on the top, I feel like it would definitely show. It's not a big gap by any means, but it's just enough that it's they're oh yeah, we're sorry, that's just how your teeth are shaped. So if you want to do that, you're gonna have to do it cosmetically. And I'm like, it's not worth.
Lame.
Most people don't have them on the top. I have them on the top.
So does Cass.
I did too.
I also got a question. Does milk affect the ripping a fat one? Does that affect it?
Well,
Is that
maybe
a thing?
I mean,
I thought
Kai.
it meant fart.
Ripping a fat one.
Did you fart?
Yeah.
Did you fart?
He farted.
I thought you meant like a big jizz or something, and I was, and she like pulled away, and was like, ah!
We need someone
What I thought.
We need someone to start doing t-shirts because I want it's a big jizz t-shirt.
Now that's a big jizz.
That's a big
On the
shit.
back
That's
of
a big
the
jizz.
ripping a fat one.
And then maybe like, on the pocket it just says like a big jizz.
A big jizz. Oh, Dan, can you do those like shirts that have like the things in the pockets?
Wait,
And you like pull it down, it's just a sperm, like a chunky sperm.
Yeah, maybe a glass
funny.
of milk, like coming out of a glass of milk. It's like a little sperm. That would
Lampy
be
Lamp
amazing.
says, yeah, you guys were gonna stay bad until I told Nick to catch these hands.
Thanks.
They changed their minds. Thanks, Lampy Lamp.
They knew that was a
Five.
serious threat.
Yeah, I farted. I'm sorry. I assumed we just played really hard. That was just my assumption. You know what assuming does? Makes an ass out of you and me. Both of us. It's not my fault. I hate when women scratch her. Wait, what? When you get the
When you in a ring?
when you in the ring?
Is that when you're saying when you fight a woman, they scratch you?
Like
No, I
like.
Oh, when they scratch you in bed?
I didn't Catwoman.
My worst.
I want that on a t-shirt. My worst jizz experience.
This is-
Okay.
Oh, not the hair. The hair is the
The
worst.
hair is the worst.
Anywhere but the eyeballs and the, and
Look,
the hair.
I have
the
a whole
eye.
story about the eyeballs.
We'll save it for a page for you.
We'll tell it on Patreon because it is one of the worst experiences of my life.
Dr. Drew Prinsky is in the chat.
I got a 730 credit score. I got 740, bitch. Beat
Ooh.
that.
I'm a
Hey.
714. I had it pulled last week. Damn it.
I'm like a 710, 720.
I think I'm at like 690.
That's
I'm
not
working
bad.
my way
What
up.
are
still
you,
an
Wes?
A.
It looks like we're
What's
all
your
like,
credit
what's your
score?
credit score?
I mean, I don't want to casually flex, but like 2 weeks ago it was like $795.
What? Damn!
Trying to get that
You don't
800.
even have a mortgage yet. What the fuck?
Lots of credit.
Okay.
Lots of credit. Do you have a car
I
as
teach
well?
credit.
Wow.
I have like
teach
30.
And I have the lowest credit score.
I have like
You're second. You're
Oh,
second
second.
to last.
Okay, well, 680 and above is considered an A, so
Oh, hell
you
yeah.
still qualify
Alright.
for the lowest interest rates.
I've had like
Nice.
I've had 30,000 available credit for like 7 or 8 years
Tell me
now,
more.
and then revolving of like 10% usage. So that's
Yeah,
always
that's
like
good.
boosted it
Yeah,
up.
that's like.
Well, I use
That's
my
how I
credit
did with mine. That's why my credit score is what it is now. Is because when I first got my credit card, my dad co-signed, and I had like. Because it's funny because I got 500. My dad co-signing got me 5,500, and I never used more than. I always use less than 500, so that was why my
Pay
credit
off
score
your
went
credit
up.
cards, Trump.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Pay off your
she's a
credit-
professional.
Pay off your credit cards if you have a vehicle that you own outright. Get a loan on it and pay it off in
Sexy.
like a year.
Oh,
Smart.
we will. What if we had a whole section on financial
Financial literacy.
financial literacy by Bella, and it's just Bella sitting in a room being like, "Give me all your questions. I will answer your financial
Wait, can you
She'll be
do
the
an
next Dave
aggressive
Ramsey.
teaching? Like, because I'm sure, like, in your
Like, you
professional
fucking
job,
pay off
you
your
have to
credit
be
cards?
professional. But, like, hey, quit fucking up and pay off your credit cards, you piece of shit.
Honestly, I would pay money to see Bella.
Yeah, I would-
You could be like the
That would be
Dave
the best.
Ramsey, but
Yeah.
a female.
But female, but also then with credit
Yes.
and finance.
You're looking to get a mortgage, this is what you need to fucking do. And just,
What
like,
do you fucking
everything's
do?
aggressive.
You know what?
Hey
I feel
there.
that'd be great.
It would be fun.
Ayo.
No, XL
If you
Diamond,
don't
yeah.
owe anything and it doesn't rise, it might be because you don't have anything. But you should get
Get a line
something
of
so that
credit.
you can pay it off and have a revolving line of credit, like a credit card, and don't use it, or use 30% or less and pay it off after you've paid like a small amount of interest.
Don't they recommend, like, for people who are early on credit to get a card and just use it for their gas card and
Yeah.
get it paid off?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly to like establish like a certain amount of credit that you will use. But if you use 30% or less, that's a pretty good gauge, because if you consider your credit score, if you consider like your credit card as
would love a
like
small
1
dick
to
sugar daddy.
100%, but you consider that as like points. So you'll get 100 points for having your credit card paid off,
Right.
but you'll get 70 points for having it at a 30% balance, and so on and so forth. So
Right.
if you have the full availability available, then you're showing that like you're not using the credit card. But for younger borrowers that have never had credit before, if you're not using your card, you're not showing repayment history. So if you use the card, you wait 30 days and make the payment so it does show on your credit that you have a balance, then you can show repayment history because you've paid
Right.
that up
Thanks,
and
you
down.
Twisted, for the 100 sparks.
Thanks.
Twisted.
Thanks.
Sparks. We love
What?
Sparks.
Bieber says that she wants to be on a
Sparks.
financial podcast. Honestly, if we had a financial episode, I
She
feel like you guys would be good if we had like Bieber and then like Bella just kind of talk about like.
She studied and really enjoys taxes.
I am not a tax advisor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This used to be a stream about eating ass and finances and bucks
Listen,
and wine.
listen.
Gray asked one
We're
thing. Sorry, it
diverse.
said Gray asked like, what's a good credit score for someone in their 20s?
A good credit score for someone in their
Thanks,
20s.
Monkey. Have
It
a
will
good night.
depend on how many trade lines you have open, but if you have less than 4 trade lines, your credit score is not considered valid. So most places will consider you at a 620, which is like a C. But as time goes on and you grow more credit and you have more trade lines open and more payment history to show on your credit, 680 is what's considered a credit.
Oh.
So there's that.
Also,
Some good financial.
I agree that
Yeah,
you and
it's cool.
Forrest should have a fans only.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys should have an OnlyFans, honestly.
What do we title it? Twink and Bear?
Yeah! People will be so down with that.
Yeah.
I will
Down
now
with
tweet
it.
that on
Yeah.
all of my Twitters. Are you Utes? Because they definitely don't drink in BYU. We're not in BYU right now. We're not honoring that honor code.
Let's just consider BYU is a college.
And the Utes are also a college.
I
And
had
700 credit score is great.
We live in Utah, but
We're not Mormon. Not everyone here is Mormon.
That's a great
I don't
credit
think anyone
score.
Is
here is
anyone
Mormon.
here Mormon?
We-
I'm
none of
technically
us-
on the Mormon their registry because
Yeah.
now I have to literally get a lawyer to take my name off of it.
Same.
And so
Cass and I both grew up LDS, so both of
Good
us
job,
were
Grace.
baptized into the Mormon church.
Yeah.
And because
As
we did that when we
8-year-olds.
were 8-year-olds,
Mhm.
now at 23,
That's
we're
awesome.
still LDS technically.
I saw the best thing.
because we're still on the LDS
registry.
registry because we can't get it off without, getting a lawyer. But at 8 years old, I could join.
I saw the best thing. It was like, wow, loser, did your mom choose your religion for you or something?
Literally.
Yeah. It's okay. My mom told me I was Jewish, so what's up?
Oh,
Shalom
yeah.
alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. What's up? She wanted more presents. She loved holidays.
My mom is a fan of holidays. And is obsessed with holidays. So for some reason, when I was about in the 4th grade, she told me I was Jewish. And I believed her because, who wouldn't believe their mom and a 4th grader?
Especially about...
When your mom says you're Jewish, you're Jewish.
You're Jewish.
Even though you did not study to have a bat mitzvah anytime soon, you did not do anything like that. You never been. You don't even know what a Torah is. I didn't know what a Torah was until I went to high school and they taught world religions.
You were like, shit.
And so, yeah, dead ass, fucking. My mom told me we were Jewish. The funny part of it was So, it was funny because, at my dad's house, he wouldn't let me watch Family Guy, but at my mom's, I can watch Family Guy.
Yeah.
So there was an episode of Family Guy that, I don't know, the ending, and then they said something about, Hitler, and I was I asked my sister Shelby, I was like, who's Hitler? And she's like, oh, he's a guy that kills Jews. And for some reason, in my 4th grade mind, I thought Hitler was a, this being, not like a human, but this monster that comes and kills Jews. I started crying because I was like, oh my god, he's going to kill us, we're Jewish. And my sister's like, no, he's dead, it's fine. That's my
religion experience.
That's my most religious experience.
Did you check under your bed for a Hitler?
No, because my sister told me right then. Because I started crying because my sister just like didn't get that. Like I didn't know anything about the Jewish religion. I didn't know about the Holocaust. I was in the 4th grade. I would learn that 2-3 years later.
Yeah.
But like
when it's like a required thing.
Yeah, but it's a required thing, and she's 4 or 5 years older than me, so like she knew who Hitler was. She knew we weren't Jewish, but she just let my mom be crazy. And so I really did believe that we were Jewish for the longest time, and I believed that up until the 7th grade when I learned about Judaism. I'm like, oh, that's not me.
That I mean.
That I mean. And so it does.
Did everyone have a good Valentine's Day?
Yeah,
we did have a good Valentine's Day. We should go down the line and say what we did for Valentine's Day.
I was like, we talked about it before we started the podcast, but we didn't talk about it necessarily on the podcast.
So Bella and Cass start because you guys kind of did the same thing.
Well, so in the morning, I woke up and I was getting dressed, and I was getting ready to like walk out of my room to go to our closet because it's like in a different room. It's the whole thing. Anyways. I was talking to Stone. My upstairs room?
The room with
both rooms are scary.
They're scary.
Anyways, so I was talking to Stoney and he was like, did you get me anything? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, and I was like, did you get me anything? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. I got him a Yoda cookie, okay? Like
that's adorable.
Is it cute?
That's cute.
It was cute, and it said Yoda one that I want. It's cute. Right? So that was later, though, like way on later. But in the morning, I didn't have anything. And then I walked upstairs to get dressed, and Stoney put like a whole thing of flowers in my closet. Oh, so cute. Yeah. And then I went to work, and then I went home. And Stoney got me some chocolate-covered strawberries.
Ooh.
Very, very fancy. And then we went to dinner with Nate and Cass. It was great.
We had a great time because we all don't know how to act in fancy restaurants. So we were like, like this the whole time. We were like, I would like a glass of wine. And then it was like this big, and I was like, I expect glasses of wine to be like basically the whole bottle.
Right.
Because when I'm like, oh... wine, yeah, let's fill up this entire glass. I forget that the regular
Jay,
thing
can't
is
see
just
your
like
comic
this much.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Sean 505.
Hi. We were there, and there was this guy talking about being an insurance adjuster, and he was literally like explaining to his date how like complicated insurance adjusting is and shit, and all of us were like, just hearing him like, wow, your job's so exciting.
No.
But we saw a really cute dog on our way back to the car.
Oh, it was so cute.
It was a really cute dog.
That's all that matters.
It was so cute.
It was.
And then once the thing is that he knew that like once his owner stopped walking, he stopped and then he sat down and like looked up to him, and I was like, oh,
it was
my heart.
So cute. It was
Such
a little
good boy.
Aussie. Oh my god, it was so fucking cute.
How long have you had orgies for?
How long?
Couple years?
A couple years.
Yeah,
you know,
a while.
At least 50 in the mind.
About 6.
Yeah, about 6. No,
It's
not
not
about
that I
6,
think that
wait.
being an insurance
3.
adjuster sucks. It's just that he
There
was
we
like,
go.
3.
Solid answer.
3 years.
he was really trying hard to impress this girl talking about like insurance adjuster.
Wait, was he doing the like white posture thing? He was like, yeah, so like when I go out to work, like, you know, we work real hard every day, and I gotta.
Okay, but like
He was sitting next to her.
I'll be the date. I'm like,
And he was
really cute. Is this the red dress girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
yeah.
in this cute red dress. She was adorable. She was like,
Yeah, and he literally was like, yeah, so I'm an insurance adjuster. Like, he was, like, leaning into her and, like,
she's
trying
just,
to
like,
talk to her
sitting there,
about,
like...
And she was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, so basically, like, what it means to be an insurance adjuster is, like, I view their wrecks, and then I see what it costs to be able to fix the vehicle and decide if it's totaled. And, like, he rambled for...
If you use your your business jargon without asking to like when we ask like, can you tell us about credit?
yeah.
But if you just bring up business jargon, you're a dick.
Especially on a date.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
on a Valentine's Day.
And it sounds
What
like
the
that
fuck?
would have probably been
No.
like their first or second date because like if you're like then explaining what you do for a living, that has to be like a first or second date. So like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
something like Valentine's Day. You want to talk about cute relationship, like romance stuff,
Yeah.
not insurance adjusting.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like earlier this week, I had to make some cookies for my like work Valentine's potluck, and Cass and I made these amazing cookies that had
Toddlers.
credit union jokes on them.
It's great.
One of them said like, what was it? Nice assets was my favorite.
It was so good.
But like, it wouldn't have been funny if
It was like
Cass
credit or
and I-
debit.
If I had taken that cookie to Stony on our first date and been like, ha, this is so funny.
Get it? I do
Get
baby
You're
stuff.
probably like, what the fuck? LMAO. Okay, is talking about me being a geologist suck? I would not. Well, it depends.
That'd be
Are you
Thing
actually
is-
a geologist?
And if you talk about it sparingly, like if it comes up in conversation, like something about geology or like something pertaining where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a geologist, I know about this.
Yeah.
That would be like, oh yeah. And if you're
Or-
sure you're passionate about something, people are more
Yeah.
interested.
Or
Yeah.
if she's like, please tell me what about, like, what does
Yeah.
being a geologist mean? But
Yeah.
also, side note, no offense, being a geologist is cool. But it kind of reminds me of, like, Big Bang Theory. The geologist in the show is kind of like, no one wants to talk to him. So it's kind of like, what do you do, play with rocks?
I feel like there's
Okay,
like
now-
a lot of like funny
That's
jokes
cool.
if you're a geologist.
And I feel like,
Yeah.
now that you like, okay, so you work for the state and the mining stuff, that's pretty interesting. Like, what does that entail? Like, I feel like that would be a good date because it's like, what does it entail? I feel like as an insurance adjuster, you kind of get what that means. You don't need to expand. But, like, also, if she asks,
so much wine.
say. But if she doesn't ask, don't say.
I don't know. I mean, don't you guys... Aren't you guys, like, hot and bothered by insurance getting adjusted?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Only when
like,
it goes
fuck.
adjusted to my benefit.
Yeah. Like, God, when I see those rates lower, I'm just like, where's the bedroom? Like, fuck.
Honestly, though, yeah. When my
You're
dad
like,
told me that
"Shit."
I had enough time that my insurance went down because of all my fucking speeding tickets, I was like, hell yeah! Send me to the next strip store so I can just like give them the money, give them all that savings that my rates were lowered. But anyways, Allie, what
on
did you
a
do?
side note,
Yes.
so there's been like 3 hairs at the bottom of my wine
That's
this whole
disgusting.
time, and every time I drink, I just look at them.
Is it
stuck
like
on the bottom? I
what
can't
kind of
drink
hairs?
it.
Is it my hair, or is it
It could be dog hairs.
dog hairs?
Well,
we don't have any dogs
But
in our
I have a
place.
dog.
She has.
I also have cats. I'm also hairy.
Oh,
so-
I have cats too.
It definitely is not my hair.
No.
Lampy Lamp
But,
says I
like,
don't believe in
none of it.
geologists.
Slap the girl with
Jay
the
Sean said, "I love guy with beard.
Hey!
Beard guy."
What up?
Hey.
I
Do you
believe
guys
in
ever kiss
geologists.
for us? That's weird.
Occasionally, but you'd have to keep watching all of our stuff.
And also, that's only on our
Constantly.
Patreon.
The only person I kiss is Post Malone if he shows up.
No, exactly.
And it's just for
we
moral
embrace
support.
him.
Or Bieber.
Or
It's
Bieber,
a
yeah.
Or
platonic
Bieber.
kiss.
Yeah, you know. We have a lot of platonic kisses,
Guy
but
with
that's on
beard,
Patreon.
please slap- No, I'm not gonna do that, Jay Sean. That's rude.
Oh,
Super rude.
Why do you want to
Jay
slap?
Sean, that's
I
mean.
fix people's houses with
She's
shallow
gonna-
sinkholes.
Wes's kiss belong, please.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
I was.
Platonic kiss? Maybe.
Jay
Guess you'll
Sean,
have to-
only you.
Pay us money on our Patreon to see if that
Oh.
happens.
I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Anyways,
I fix people's houses when shallow sinkholes form across the state.
That sucks.
I took
Shallow
that.
sinkholes? Like how shallow? Like how many feet is a shallow sinkhole?
Well, if
I
there's
always
a sinkhole
wondered
in your
that.
house, it's going to be affecting no matter what. So I feel like, I mean, you didn't
I've
take
never
that.
experienced a sinkhole.
Well, if you would have taken the natural disasters class at the Slick, you would understand.
Jesus.
Don't worry, Trump is all. I get you. I took a natural disaster class once.
I know what I took a natural disaster class online, and I did not learn a single thing from it. Gotta be honest, but I got a C+, and C's get degrees, ladies
True.
and gentlemen.
I got an A in
Thank
mine.
Oh, casual flex.
All right.
Oh, big brains over here.
We got ourselves
Sorry.
An education person.
Sorry, I did. Can
Is
you
that your
feel
flex?
I got an A.
Flex on me.
In my natural disaster class.
A fucking C?
You get C's, that's gay. I get
I can't be
degrees.
convinced it's his
Oh,
fault
that
because
makes
there are really
sense.
old mines below the house. Yeah, that does
Yeah.
make sense.
I feel like
Have you found Susan
only
Powell yet?
sometimes I hear this shit that you say.
I'd like to know.
No one listens.
I would like to know.
Yeah.
I heard it, and I was offended. I'm just kidding. I wasn't offended.
Well, you didn't laugh, so how was I supposed to know?
Because they're in direct eye contact.
They're
They're literally
line of
touch-
sight.
Do you want him to like turn so he's perpendicular to you?
Well, yeah, like when Cass is talking, it's kind of hard because I would have to
we'll
do
turn
this.
and we'll. Do you want us looking at each other
Yeah.
the whole time?
So if I look in the direction, I'm
Eye
hearing.
contact.
I feel like the most
'Cause
person
they're
I
like
make
that.
eye contact with is Allie
That.
because like with the way I'm like turned is either Allie or
Mhm.
Bella. Even though like
Yeah.
Wes is right here and Cass is right here, it's like Allie and Bella's like my people.
I probably
look at.
I probably look at
Yeah.
either Holly or Allie because she'll look over when I'm talking, or sometimes Wes
Yeah.
if he's telling
Yeah.
a good story.
Well,
I'll,
like typically I'm looking at chat, which
Yeah.
also is like that direction.
In my
and
direction.
that
Yeah.
direction,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Also-
Especially from like what you guys can see on the camera, it's not
yeah.
completely
Yeah.
like accurate to the way the room is set up.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
confused as to why I would have to leave the room
Why
to
are
ask
you
a
leaving the room?
question.
It's
time is it over there?
8:53.
You could probably just like just pretend you're gone.
I'm gone.
She's gone. Tell us what you
she
need to tell
vanished.
us.
Oh,
I don't even know what's going on. What time is it? Oh, what time is it? 8:51. Yo, he keeps staring even when Blondie talks.
He's looking at
He's
the chat.
looking at the chat. That's what he's looking at. Yeah, no, the chat is basically where
We're all
glasses.
looking mostly.
That laugh.
I'm waiting for more credit score tips.
They're like, give me credit score or give me death.
Trying to hit like.
Trying to hit above 750.
I want to go to the gym and just get a big neck so I can just.
Yeah,
Dude,
great.
I
You
don't know.
should. We could even, I feel like, let's next time make you a fake, like, neck.
Oh
Yeah.
So then the whole
Right.
time you could be like, and people possibly, we'll see if anybody comments on like, yo, Beardy, what happened with your neck?
Oh, what happened with those C's?
Oh my god! She gone. Where'd Blondie go?
oh, she's back.
You're like Chumley. Oh, wait, she's Chumley
From that
the
pound place?
What's the pound place?
What's
Damn.
What's Chumley?
Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars.
I've heard that before, and I thought that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, You
Yeah.
do not look like Chumley.
You don't look like
No.
I take like Action
Chumley-
Bronson for sure.
Yeah,
so,
Action Bronson. Yeah, Chumley. Like he looks like a dumbass. No offense to Chumley. I love Pawn Stars.
Yeah. Cass's dad texted her when the
Oh yeah, when the grandpa died, my
Aw.
dad texted me and was like, "Old man died,"
Oh,
and we were like, because he acts a lot. Oh no, I cracked my thing and I spilled some red wine.
There's
on my
there's
jacket.
other we have other glasses.
That's not the
it's okay.
But-
I'm just giving you shit.
Basically,
I've heard it before, so.
he texted me because we used to watch it all the time, and he acted a lot like my grandpa because my grandpa was a total hard ass. So, like, I'm gonna, you know what? So do all of us.
Yeah,
high-waisted
if you-
leggings. Actually,
If
they
you look
come
at
all the way up.
mine, so does
So am
Alice.
I with my
jeans. What's this?
So am I with my
To
jeans.
untuck our tummies, would you like that?
Are you
face shot?
into tummies? If you're into tummies, we don't have that here.
If you're into tummies, I got something for you,
If
bro.
you're into tummies, we all got something for you.
We all got tummies
We all got tummies. We're ready.
It's the pouch where we keep our cookies.
Actually, though, I had some cookie dough at my house, and I kind of like.
So-
Like when I was driving, so it didn't slide away.
You sick
Why
fuck!
did
I can't. You put it in your pants?
Well, just a little. It was amazing.
Keeps it
honestly.
warm.
So I want to hear about everyone's Valentine still.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Because I'm excited to hear about yours. You haven't told us about your Valentine.
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
I'm most
'Cause you
excited about
asked us.
Wes's.
Yeah.
What you guys should do? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so my boyfriend texted. He's the least romantic person on the planet. It's fucking hilarious. But he texted me. I threw out some suggestions. I was rooting for us to dress up in maintenance uniforms, go into a random office building, and steal all of the light bulbs. But I was
like
shot
the most
down.
you thing I have ever heard in my life.
I think it would be so much fun. But he was like, no, I'll come over to your place. I'll cook you dinner. So that day I cleaned up a little bit and I called it. 15 minutes before he was supposed to get there, he called me and he was like, hey, what if we go to a bar with my best friend instead? And so we went to the bar, and I hadn't eaten anything because I was like, oh, I'm getting a fancy dinner. So I immediately start drinking shots, which was a bad plan.
Yeah.
Because then I got sick, so like I went into the bathroom and threw up. And then I came out, and then we just all danced in Christian's apartment for a while, and then I fell asleep on the couch.
That's fair.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
If you had to vote one out of the group, who would it be? I vote Blanc because she won't let me ask questions.
Holly, walk out for a second.
Holly,
so
you
we
need
can
to
ask
leave
this
for a
question.
second.
Okay, you know what? Dainty Fairy 13, what I want to do for you, because obviously, my offer for you is I have to use the restroom. I will go use the restroom, ask her fucking question, and if it's if the carpets match the drapes, I will not answer.
I know that it does not. Just ask a question. No one's gonna leave. Oh, she left the room. I'm sorry, but like didn't want to, but she had to pee, so it's okay. So ask your question while she's gone.
Hey, Lampy Lamp, I saw that comment and I appreciate that. By the way,
What did Lampy Lamp say?
He said, "Bearded guy looks like the dude from junior high who could play softball really well."
Yeah, actually. Oh, honestly.
Let's see here.
Where's she going?
Fucking rude.
I'd
What?
vote myself out.
I'd honestly, yeah, same. I vote
Yeah.
myself out, but then again, if we all voted ourselves out, then we wouldn't have a group, would we?
Yeah, we wouldn't be a lit group.
She's gone long for.
She's gone. She's gone. Lock the door. We all out here having a good time, drinking wine. We all are very different.
You know what's
With
funny
some
about
issues or qualms.
the Valentine thing? So I asked you guys like, what would be a good place to
Oh
go?
yeah.
And you said that melting pot because cheese.
Yes,
And you were like, I got cheese.
Marshall gave me cheese for Valentine's
Cheese
Day.
is so good. I
good.
love cheese.
So do you want the good news or the bad news?
I want both. I want
Melting
both.
pot has been like booked out on Valentine's Day for like 4 months.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you serious? God, these rich ass people.
The lady said the only openings right now are.
JK, she's my favorite one.
Weird timing.
That actually was perfect. That was amazing. Okay, continue with
Oh
your
no,
cheese.
she just said that the only openings for any like reservations were at 10 o'clock at night.
Ours was at 9:45. Yeah. Wow.
I'm
Sorry, James, but
I really took my time in there. I pee so fast that
No,
it's like
honestly,
a habit.
yeah,
I can't pee.
no.
Like I just can't. So sorry. What would you do for Valentine's?
Oh no, yeah, I was just saying because she said she got cheese, and then I was told to go somewhere for cheese, and it just perfect cycle. I have a problem with like kind of buying people gifts, and then like I can't wait to give it to them.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I
I
just
want
had
you
to,
to
so
have it right now.
I gave
Love gifts.
her the stuff that I got her
Good
Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and then we hung out. And then Friday we went to. You guys ever gone to Janet's Sunshine Cafe?
Yes.
Go there for sure.
Love
Shout that
Sunshine
place
Cafe.
out. It's if you live in Utah or Bountiful, even if you don't live in Bountiful, come to Bountiful to go to that place because it's one of the best little diners you could ever go to.
I love that
It's
place.
phenomenal.
Honestly, it's so good.
So good.
So we went there, and then later the evening we went to Olive Garden, and then
Were
the
you
mall.
there, your family?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And then the mall, and then we went home and cuddled and
Just hung out.
watched a movie.
That's
Watch the
precious.
movie,
nice.
right, ladies?
Also-
It was a fantastic evening.
I feel like
so fun.
for me, if it was the option to go to a fancy restaurant or have some of my significant other cook for me, I would pick cook for me.
Yeah.
I
Like,
would
like
too.
that'd be more
definitely.
precious.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's something more intimate about that. You don't have to deal with other people. You
Yeah.
can have your
It's
time
more
alone.
personal.
You don't
It
have
is.
to dress up, or
Yeah.
you can dress up, but you're together. You know,
Yeah.
like because I got dressed up and it was just me and Devin. So you want to hear our plans for it? So we were planning on getting a hotel room anyways, you know. So we were like, okay, let's do that. And then I was like, oh, I'll grab snacks and stuff. And he's like, well, we should have a real meal first. We can't just eat snacks. And I was like,
Fuck that.
I was like, first of all, I love you. But second of all, that's bullshit. I can just live off snacks.
Honestly, yeah.
But personally, I love snacks.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, we go to the hotel. And then we get there. And then we leave. We get Apollo burger.
Hell yeah.
Bon appetit. It was delicious.
Did you get the baklava?
No, I was going to get a take-home baklava.
And you didn't?
No, I just didn't think about it.
Holly, I swear to God, that is our
I-
one thing.
That's our thing.
Okay, but you could have gotten it to think about me on Valentine's Day.
When I saw them in the little display case that they always have, I did think of you.
Okay, I am glad.
I was gonna send you a snap and be like,
Baklava. I love baklava.
I was
So
thinking
good.
of doing a
So
snap
good.
being like, with my love and my one true love, and then baklava because baklava,
So good. It's so
my
good.
favorite.
We got drunk one time, and then we're like, we need baklava. And then
It's
I
so
think we
good.
got somebody to drive us to Apollo Burger so we could get baklava.
Ali
because
was
we
there.
wanted- Were you there? We all got baklava.
It was?
I think so.
you were
Not
there.
at all,
You
but
might have
There
been
was a
there.
time where we were all together and
And
you
we
were
got
with us when we got
baklava.
baklava. This was at the Gilmer house. This was a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
my memory is gone.
I think Reagan took
My
it.
memory.
No, I drove us. Reagan was with us. It was us four.
Oh, yeah, and we all got baklava.
But anyway, so we got baklava.
Okay,
You remember
Yes,
I
you
feel like
remember
I
that?
remember
Alright.
this.
'Cause
Yes.
yeah, so we just
yes.
hung out. But yeah, so we just hung out. It was really precious. It was a good
Yeah.
time.
No, I kind of agree with Lampy Lamp, but also not. Because I honestly think that you can have a good time doing both.
I think it just
You know,
depends. Like, it doesn't have to be
honestly.
every time. But
Yeah.
I feel like going out, because for me, I don't like going out to restaurants. That's why when he was like, we should get real food, I was like, fuck, I don't want to go to a restaurant because it's going to be so packed. It's going to take forever. It's going to cut into
Especially
our
if you don't make
personal-
like any like reservations.
No,
or
like we were
anything.
just gonna go
Like,
straight into it, and I
yeah.
didn't really want to do that,
Yeah.
and neither did Devin. So that's why we went to Apollo Burger. There was like no one there. There was this cutest baby though. This like maybe 2-year-old. She like ran to our table and was just staring at us, smiling. And I was like, hi. And then the brother came by and he's like, sorry. I was like, don't you ever apologize.
Don't you ever apologize.
I was like, don't even worry about it. It was like
Cutest fucking thing I've ever
so. She's a cute girl. She's precious. I love children.
adorable. Honestly,
If I don't have to take care of them.
exactly. If it's not mine, then I'm fine with it, and it's
Yeah.
adorable. I'm like, oh. But if once someone else's baby starts crying, I'm usually like,
Most of the time, it's for me. It's like it's not like you gross. It's more like I don't know what to fucking do. Take your child. This isn't my
it's like,
responsibility.
I don't know how to take care of this. Literally.
Then we went today because we were gonna go yesterday for Valentine's Day, but obviously they closed at 5. We went to the Leonardo da Vinci Museum and we went and saw the Pompeii exhibit, and it was so good. It was so cool.
Worth it then? Because I've been wanting to get it.
It's worth it. It's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
So I feel like you should do all of the museum. Make sure you have time to do all of it. Because it took us... We were there for 3 hours. And the Pompeii exhibit was probably 2 hours. There was just so much to see. And it was just really cool. Like, they had even, like, some of the casting of, like, the people that were, like, like the casting of the people who, like, got covered.
Yeah.
And, like, the last minutes. And it showed, like, just, like... It had some, like, their art. Like, the frescoes. Like, some of those. Like, it just was... it was
that's
really pretty.
cool.
I feel like it would be really worth it. And I feel like, Like, I feel like you and Beaver would really like it. I don't know if her...
we love museums.
Yeah, if she really likes museum, I think she would like it. I don't know how her son feels about museums.
I like them.
If he likes them, I think he'll really like it because...
I love the Leonardo, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a great layout, and it's, like, interactive, but only in certain bits, you know?
I had the most shocking thing happen to me yesterday.
What?
So, I haven't been to Layton Hills Mall in a while. There's Sequest.
Yeah,
which
that's
is really
worth
cool.
It. It's cool, but it's not.
We walked in there and it was kind of late. Like, it was like not almost 9, so we weren't going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
I'm glad I'm your favorite.
And
I'm his least favorite, so.
You know how they have like a bunch of stuffed animals and stuff?
Thank you,
like,
Jeff.
all over the walls, like stuffed penguins and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I walk in and we're looking around. I look to my left. I'm like, oh, there's stuffed pigs on the floor. And I'm like, hey, those are real fucking pigs. There's just two pigs laying on the floor. So I pet a pig yesterday, and that was pretty great.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is honestly, that would be the highlight of my fucking week if I got to pet a pig.
They were like the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
They're fun. I like Sequest. I went when they first opened, so they're probably better now. But when they first opened, it was like kind of lame. But like, it's cool. I mean, it's weird because it's like inside of a mall.
Yeah,
but it's cool.
I did the like where you like not scuba dive, where you snorkel with the stingrays. That was really fun.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Honestly.
He wouldn't go. No, that would
It just was
yeah. Because I don't want to be like forward or anything, but they do have at the Leonardo sensory deprivation days, so they like dim lights and noises. So I don't know if he would be more interested if they had those kind of days, if you went when it was like less sensory overload, because they have days designated, so that way you can do it. So like maybe if you had like a weekday where you guys had it off and you had one of those days, maybe he would like it more. But then again, I don't know. As a kid, some kids love museum and some kids hate museum.
Yeah.
So I don't know like how he would feel about it. But if it's more of like a sensory thing, I think he would like it more because they have the sensory sensitive days where they like watch it and they like dim the lights and they turn down the noises.
My sister,
just an idea.
My sister hates museums because of literally everything going on and all that stuff. She literally does not go when they have like a school trip and everything. She's always like, no, and ask my parents to like take her out. She's like, no, I can't, because like the thing is she is like the thing is our doctor was like, oh, she has like slight OCD maybe, and she's like, I don't know, but like that's something that like heightens her anxiety and stuff like that. So literally everything, sensory especially with like people specifically, always like she's 16. She's going to be a junior in high school right now, and literally museums. She's like, no.
Yeah.
She can't do museums. She hates museums with a passion because of just like I don't know. It's like it's a specific thing about it that she's just like, no, you know.
I think that's a funny thing that you bring up, that he has he's thinking different about Utah. He thought it was more conservative. You know, there's a large part of Utah that is very like not conservative. We're just it's hard to overthrow the
honestly.
Mormon agenda.
The Mormons are here for sure.
They're here. They're
and
readily available.
You can find them anywhere you go. But
I love it too, honestly.
Salt Lake recently has, I think, there's been a lot of turnaround as far as like we have a lot more bars now and we have a lot more. Especially like getting older, like we kind of like after when you're not in the suburbs, which like we live in a suburb, so when you're out of the suburbs, there's a lot more.
Specifically,
not Mormons.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
well, the most open and
it
like,
is.
Yeah. Well,
diverse,
also,
especially for like LGBT and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's very. I've heard that Salt Lake City is one of the most
and
friendly
also
towards
Salt Lake City has actually the majority isn't Mormon in Salt Lake City.
Now.
It's I think
so that's where everyone goes to get out of the suburbs.
Like a year, like I think a year ago, I read a study and it was 65% of people in Salt Lake aren't Mormon, and actually at the U now it's like 80% aren't Mormon.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I don't identify.
Yeah, things have changed. I mean, like Provo and BYU and stuff are pretty predominantly LDS, and
Did you guys hear about the BYU thing? Sorry to cut you off.
What BYU
No.
thing?
I want to
What
hear.
happened?
Tell
Just
me.
very racist. Like,
Oh,
I
of
guess
course.
they-
No, I heard about. Wait, okay, I know what
they
you're talking
had
about.
a
Yeah.
panel.
Fucking pissed.
Now, don't quote me. I don't remember everything, but the panel was. I don't know what they were discussing, but all the people who were on the panel were from Kenya.
Yeah.
And what they did is they let people do anonymous questions sent like through a text thing up to them, and they would read it and answer the questions. Yeah, like 6 or 7 were very racist, and like
Was it like
They
did
were
you
all like.
the first one was, why isn't there any white people up on the panel?
Yeah, and then it was like, why isn't there like a White History Month and stuff like that? And it was like,
I was just.
It's like,
I mean, are they surprised that BYU is racist? Like,
Yeah.
because they interviewed like a couple people who can talk about it, and like they were like, this isn't the first time like there's blatant racism down on this campus. Like, it's rampant.
Yeah.
That's literally. I have a friend. She's going to BYU right now, and she was telling. I saw on the Venmo feed that she paid. I think her mom's like handling some of like this stuff for like her housing or something because she paid her mom for the housing.
yeah.
And I saw that for going to the U because she went to the U, then she went on a Mormon mission, and then she came back and went to BYU.
Yeah.
And has only been at BYU for a year and was like. Honestly, she's like, I love, like, she is religious and stuff like that, but she's like, I can't deal with, like, the community of this religion, especially in this college. Everything's so cliquey, and they're all just so, like, you know, blatantly racist and sexist, and all of this stuff that she's like, I feel so much more comfortable. Like, I loved the U, because they were so accepting, but at, the, like, BYU, she's like, I just feel isolated. And she's like, and I am, like, a white, straight woman. Like, I still feel isolated, and so I can't even believe how that is for people different than me.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could have a whole other podcast on, like,
Mormon
living in
culture,
Utah
yeah.
and not being
Literally.
LDS and what it was like to grow up LDS, because, honestly, there's... I could talk for hours and hours and hours about that, and, like, I have tattoos, and I'm not allowed to go to my grandma's house showing my tattoos because she's very LDS, and it's just, like... The culture is very different when you are in a place that isn't accepting of you, regardless of like the difference is like I could literally be covered and you would not know that I have tattoos, but if my tattoos are showing, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Holly and the same with Cass. Like, you are treated different when you're in certain situations because of that. With BYU is a great school educationally. It's just that the atmosphere and the culture there is
very,
very,
much
very,
closed off and-
very, like, I don't know, like, if you're not from Utah or you're not LDS, you probably don't, like, know this, but when you turn 18 in the LDS church, you stop going to, like, your regular ward, which is, like, your regular, like, congregation, and you start going to a thing called the singles ward, which is basically where return missionaries and newly, women who are over the age of 18 will go to this singles ward, which is they encourage you to date to get married as soon as possible, and it just creates this, like, I'm not trying to talk bad about Mormons is the thing, like, it's not even about that, it's just that they've created this culture where...
No, Jeff, we do not go to BYU. We just hear about it on the news.
No, we don't.
We're not Mormon at all, just so you know.
It's just that, you know, No, it's just like every Sunday, instead of going to your regular congregation, you now, after you turn 18 and you're not married, you go to the singles ward, where other single people your age and that are not married go pretty much after you turn 18, because they want you to get married as soon as possible. And then after you're married, you can go back to your regular congregation, your regular ward. But they've just created a culture of, like, people get married to have sex, or people get married because they think they have to, or people get married to have kids because they think that it's, like, the only thing that you can do to be successful in life. And a lot of the younger generations are stepping away from that, and it's causing, like, so many issues with, like, older LDS members. But then the younger ones that are still a part of these single wards and are going to are living in places like the BYU campus, are living such a, like,
Sheltered.
a sheltered life, but also, like, such a... I don't know. I'm not saying that all LDS people are like that, but it's just that it's extreme for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And not all Mormons are like that. Like, there's plenty of LDS people that are in my life that I enjoy the company of and that do great things and, like, aren't that way. It's just that there are a lot of people that are that way and they ruin it for a lot of other people.
And it sucks too because it's such a pressure thing. It's parents pressuring their kids to live a certain way because their parents got pressured by their parents in this cycle. And what Bella just said is, like, it's starting to break because these people our age and younger are starting to realize, like, well, this isn't how life is anywhere else except here.
Right. Yeah.
And it's, and
even, like, with my parents, both of my parents were raised very, very strictly LDS. Like, everything you do is LDS. And when they were in high school, they kind of, like, were, you know, like, rebellious, and my grandparents were like, they're just rebellious. But then when my parents got married, which they got married at 18 because they were pregnant with me.
Hello.
Let's just talk about that, you know. Teen pregnancy is so high here because people get married so young to have sex and then have babies because they don't know about protection and they don't know. And then they think that, like, being pregnant at 18 is, like, the best thing that could happen to you, which I'm not saying it's not. It's just that
there's other options.
There's other things and not everyone wants that for themselves. And the thing is that when I was raised LDS, I was raised by my parents who were not living LDS church standards every day, but we were still LDS because it was what my grandparents accepted them as, and it was what we what they thought was normal. But also, I mean, like but I mean, the thing is like, now that a lot of people are moving away from the LDS church, it's a really big controversy here.
Yeah,
it is.
It's LDS, which is just Latter-day Saints, which is just another word for Mormon or FDL, like whatever.
No, that's different.
That's the polygamists.
FLDS is like the polygamists, but
LDS is just being Mormon and such like that. So that's just all that means. And so it's not like pounds or anything. It's just like Latter-day Saints, which just means Mormon. It's just a religion. LDS is being Mormon. Mm-hmm. And so that's all that it means. It's just a church that was recreated. It's just another sub-Catholic church. Not Catholic, Christian church, sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, watch the South Park episode. It really does kind of explain it just really shows like the dumbness of it. But yeah, we could do a whole episode on that because it's long. I mean, there's a lot of history. There's just a lot to go about it. There's a lot of culture. I feel like Utah is just so weird as well because it's like you like get raised in it and you just like kind of accept it because it's like that's all you know.
Yeah, it's your community.
Like as me, my dad's not LDS whatsoever, but yet like I went to school and like the whole like I didn't have a mom growing up and people made fun of me for that because it's not normal for your mom to just leave the family at a certain age. Your mom, like parents don't do that. Like it happens, but like not in Utah. That's not what you do in Utah. But it's just like it's just a culture.
It is.
Yeah,
and then like I mean,
if you guys really want to know about, like, what it's like living here, we all are from different backgrounds. Like, I grew up LDS, but not, like, super, super LDS because my parents were not as strictly LDS. But Cass grew up very strictly LDS.
Yeah.
And changed recently. Allie grew up in a totally different religion, but lived here.
Different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Holly grew up not
LDS,
not LDS or any religion, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you
No
didn't
religion.
go to church. I don't know what your background
I grew up an outspoken atheist because I hated Mormons.
See, there you go.
There you are.
I don't anymore because I've grown and matured and realized that anyone can do whatever they want to as long as it makes them happy and doesn't hurt anybody. But at a young age, when I started discovering, my parents allowed me to choose what I wanted to do, which people think they give their kids that, but around here they don't.
Yeah.
You're just forced into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's not like force, like they really force them, but it's like as common as just breathing. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to have dinner tonight and we're going to go to church Sunday. Like, it's just common. It's not like it's just a way of life for them. So it's hard to discredit people because they just don't know any better.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's creating such a toxic environment for young people now where they feel like I've known people around Utah who felt like if they didn't follow this code of like mission, marry, kids, church, that they are a failure.
Yeah.
That their whole life isn't worth living anymore because they didn't reach that goal. And that's sad. Like, it I don't know. It breaks my heart to see these kids who are so miserable at such a young age because they feel like they don't fit in at their church, but they feel like they can't leave because they would be homeless because their parents would disown them. Everyone feels like their Mormon parents will just kick them out on the streets because that's how they've been raised.
Yeah. Mormon is not where you can have multiple wives. Lamp Live said something.
Oh, he's just trolling. He lives here.
Oh,
He
okay.
went to school with me.
Well, so anyway, so the FLDS church is like a
Sub-church.
like a sub portion of the LDS church. They still are ones that believe in polygamy. Polygamy is illegal in Utah because it's illegal everywhere. But nowadays, the regular LDS church or the Mormons do not have multiple wives.
Side note, polygamy just became legal again.
They did?
Legal again?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because they've all been living here anyway.
Yeah, they passed a law that it's legal.
It's
like
fucking
this
stupid.
week.
God damn.
Yeah.
Like,
I
everywhere?
think so, yeah.
Oh, shit.
No,
That look good.
Looks real
But
good.
anyways,
Yeah, no,
but
I
we
would
could
love
talk about that so much more. We could do like a whole separate
10
podcast
out of
on that.
10.
If you guys are
Yeah.
really interested,
full send.
especially like the people that are like from Texas, California. There is an advice episode about it, and there's a lot you can watch about it. It's very different. There's an FLDS and then LDS, which are two separate things. Nowadays, when it first started, it was everyone had multiple wives, but
We're looking at Mixer Chat. Who's
Yeah, we're
right
looking
We
there?
just don't answer questions that are irrelevant.
What?
Ooh,
oh, savage.
fucking mint.
Mint! Fucking mint!
No, I would love to do a full episode on this because I do think that all of us
Yeah.
could talk for hours. I
Oh,
would also like to
definitely.
get someone who is currently Mormon on here so they can defend themselves.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if my brother once my brother comes back from his mission,
That would
he
be
would be
super good.
so down.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be super down because
be
he's
good.
very like open about it, and like I've had multiple conversations with him just about everything,
four.
honestly, and like
would
he
smash
understands a lot of views
4
and
out of
stuff,
the
and
4
a lot
girls
of
here.
stuff is
Right?
just kind of like
Even though I smashed one of the
Figuring.
girls every single night
Foot.
myself.
got him, boys.
No, what was going to be interesting is there was this gentleman, I can't remember his name, so if you're listening, I apologize. He's on our Facebook, and he's wanted to come on a couple times. And I tossed around the idea of doing a religious show where I have different people from different religions on and we just discuss. I decided not to because I feel like it would just turn into toxic rambling, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But the first episode is going to be him, who is someone who found the LDS Church later in life and found it outside of Utah.
Yeah.
And a
There's
kid
a few
who
people
found
that
it in
doesn't.
Utah. Because apparently, I didn't know this, they're almost like two different religions.
No,
There's
They
no
are,
similarity.
They are
Yeah.
totally
You
Yeah.
never heard of an outside Mormon?
Not
Those are my
really.
favorite Mormons.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are the ones that
they're the best
They're the
Mormons.
best Mormons.
Joe's an outside Mormon, technically.
Yeah.
Like Joe and his dad's technically
They're
still Mormon.
totally
Like they're still like yeah.
honestly.
It's different.
It's different, yeah. Chill.
Nah,
the
man.
The law change hopefully will enable women in those situations to get free. No, I mean,
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I'm all for freedom of woman because I personally am a woman.
He had no idea.
So, I mean, I'm glad you all know now.
Also, I'll repeat. Out of the 4 women I would bang here, I would do 4 out of the 4 because I already do 1 out of the 4 every day.
More like 4 out of the 4 because we are all in your mind and your heart and your soul.
I do not think of you guys when I do myself.
Y'all ever think of your homies when you jacking off? Because I mean, Because, we out here.
We out here.
I mean, honestly.
Thinking about your homies while you
your
complete.
heart. You're like, this one's for you guys.
I every time I do it, I'm like, this one's for Allie tonight.
That reminds me of a situation. Am I allowed to tell this?
Yeah.
It has you in it.
I'm
this
ready.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So one time I was like, we were going to hang out or something, and before Allie was like, oh, I'm gonna,
Do my thing.
flick that bean. And basically, I called her or texted her or something like that while she basically in the moment of climax, and she was so like, Cassidy, what the fuck? That she literally yelled my name during climax. And then we hung out right after, and she proceeded to be like, just so you know, I came yelling your name.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite experience.
It's not mine.
It'll be mine.
I love. Oh, I see you. we wander away, baby. But yeah, basically that is my story. Anyways, back onto the whatever topic we were talking about.
I mean, if you don't tuck your homies in and kiss them on the forehead goodnight, are they really homies?
Literally, though, I have a video of probably all of the boys at some point in bed talking to each other in bed.
You got to.
And it's
Gotta
precious.
tuck your homies in good night.
I want my
Tuck
homies
your
to have
homies
good
in.
sleep.
Yeah, you gotta kiss them on the forehead, whisper, sweet nothings into their ear.
You're doing good, homie. I love you.
Yeah, like, I love you, baby.
We one time went to Vegas with the boys and they all fell asleep in the sun. Every single one of them.
All of them.
That was
Even
so good.
Dale.
We didn't shave Dale.
We didn't shave Dale.
We shaved the rest of the boys. We didn't shave
We didn't
Dale.
shave Dale.
Damn. I don't know who Dale is, but rip.
Dale is our friend's dad.
Yo, shave the dad! Hell.
Then
Help
you
Dale
said
out.
to get other women because he was like, pretend I'm like your sugar daddy or something,
Oh,
and other girls will
Lord.
want their. And so we went up to women being like, he's my sugar daddy. You should he's into you. And one girl was down until
She was
he
down.
fucked up and was like, oh, that's my son's girlfriend.
Oh.
And
She was like, what the fuck?
And then stopped talking to him.
Can we just...
R.I.P. Dale.
Can I just point out the appreciation of how great of wingmen you guys are?
We are great. We're amazing wingmen. Honestly, we could get any one of you pussy.
He
Just
made
to let
us
you
take
know.
pictures with him and stuff. He did pay for our cabana, so.
He did, and our alcohol.
And our alcohol.
So at the end of the
Which
day,
is
he kind of was your sugar
expensive.
daddy.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was.
our sugar daddy, but he's just.
And I mean,
Also-
realistically, would be down to still be our sugar daddy if we weren't friends with his son.
Is it sugar daddy or is he like a glucose guardian? Like, he's just trying to protect you?
No, he's a sugar daddy
Oh.
for sure.
Sugar
And
daddy.
honestly, even though we are friends with his son, I don't think that would stop him.
Honestly, yeah.
It definitely
Yeah,
would
nowadays.
not.
Dale staying an OG. I can appreciate that.
Stay OG.
I
Stay
could
OG
probably,
Dale.
OG Dale.
sneak on. Tempting.
You could hit up Dale, and it would make Matt so mad.
It would make him so mad. That almost gives me pleasure.
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Watching this is pretty interesting. Sorry, I meant to say entertaining.
Entertaining.
It is
I'm glad you enjoyed
9:30.
it.
It
both.
should be entertaining because honestly, I've had a lot of wine, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well.
Here's a picture of the pig if you guys want.
Oh,
They're precious.
so
Oh,
precious.
those are cute pigs.
Yeah.
Oh, precious
But
little pig.
Should we talk about what we were kind of planning on next month's podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Leprechauns.
Leprechauns.
Something
Something
St. Patrick's Day.
green.
'Cause I think, are we going to plan on, because I'm going to be gone the weekend after
Because you're
St.
going
Patrick's.
to Portland.
I'm going to Portland.
Going to Portland with Devin for spring break.
I am going to Chicago. Not for
Oh.
spring break, just with my mom.
Just with their
That's
mom, which is honestly follow.
Yeah.
Once
It
a
is.
month,
Yeah.
yes. We're trying to do something like more frequently, like, watch a show, watch a
Like,
show
watch
and
a
comment
show.
on it or something
Yeah.
like that.
Like me, Wes, and Cass, but mostly me and Wes, like, doing a Star Wars podcast, so maybe we can do an updated one with, like, you, me, Forrest, and Cass, and we could do, like, another
Alec
one.
comes in, schools you.
Listen, he really did get me in my place about, I thought, like,
Fake fan.
honestly, I never felt like a more fake fan, except when Alec tells me about Star Wars, because I'm like,
Yeah, it's tough.
he's
It
so
was intense.
knowledgeable that it, like,
You were like, what
intimidates
the
me.
fuck?
I was just like,
100%.
but like, because
I
like
love Star
I pride
Wars, so
myself
I'm
on
just
knowing
chill.
Star Wars. Like, I
haven't
love
seen
Star
it. I've never
Wars.
seen it.
Fuck you guys, not Vince.
Yeah, me and Forrest can be like the, comedic relief or just kind of drinking.
Forrest has a Millennium Falcon tattoo.
You know what? We don't need to talk about that. Because I know how people school him.
I did school him last time,
You did. That's why I believe it.
and
got
then I
some
schooled him
schooling
on
on-
some past mirrors.
That was so fucking great.
That
That was great.
I got
like
some
it.
schooling on some of the books because I don't read the Star Wars.
Yeah, I read the
I
books,
really
and that's
watched
like the old. Alec is the only
And
person that I
seen
knows
some
that
of
like
Clone Wars.
goes into like the comics,
Yeah,
the
he's
books.
fucking deep.
He's too deep into it.
Yeah.
Well, nothing too deep, but it's okay to be that deep unless it's in the pussy.
Somebody once upon a time mentioned on here, they commented something about comics. If any of us are interested in comics, and I was
could
going
do
to say
fucking
Saga.
Saga
I was
would be a
gonna
great
recommend
one.
Saga, or even webtoons. Just in general, they have the web comics.
Yeah.
And have you read Tower of God?
No.
There's this one web comic on webtoons, Tower of God, that is now getting an anime series.
Oh, shit.
Of it.
Oh.
And it's actually really, really good because it's about like a tower that basically has levels to it, kind of like it reminds me of like not Area 51.
Aliens.
What is that, like Asylum 39 or something like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Something where they have the levels. It's like that, but basically you have to beat each level to eventually get like some wish or something like that, and it's just about some boy going in after this girl that went in there because he's like, oh my god, I can't leave her. Goes in and then tries to go to each level because he knows that her goal is to go through each level, and hopefully eventually he'll find her, and that's basically like the synopsis of it. But they're eventually going to make an anime series about it, and I was very
Cool.
excited about that.
That's so
Because that's like one of the first like comic series I've heard about getting like a full on anime.
Lore Olympus is getting an anime.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm 100%
I am
serious.
literally jizzing right now. I am so excited now that you've said that.
Like, it'll be so good.
That's how I got her on this. I told her,
It
I
is.
was like, Laura Olympus, I was like, this reminded me of you. And then I was like, you should read this, download this app, and start reading this. And so now whenever we get together, we're like, where are you at? And so sometimes we'll give each other like because you can like buy previews and like buy new chapters and stuff like that. So if either of us have bought the new chapters, we'll give it to each other so we can read it.
I have a fun idea for a video that I think we would all enjoy doing.
Ooh,
Yes.
I'm
Have
ready.
you heard of that true crime game that's out?
Mm-mm.
So
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know which company you order it from, but they send you a real life true crime, and they give you all the evidence that's with the case, and you try and figure out the case.
Okay, wait, no, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We should do that.
True
I think
Crime
that'd be
Junkies
so fun.
advertised that
Yeah.
before.
So Last House on
love
the Left
true
does
crime.
it.
That would be really cool if we did that
That
for
would be
awesome.
We're
Yeah.
planning hopefully this year to maybe do more podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm down to do more
Hopefully.
podcasts with
Yes.
you. So maybe we can do like a book of the month always. And then
Always,
do
and
maybe
then
like
some
some side
fun
ones, like
side
comics.
things.
Like I haven't read all of the saga. Like I think there's
Neither.
9,
There's
Now
some
I
more
know,
that have come out from what we
but
have
they're
at the
pausing
moment.
it for a while because they want to make sure they get the good story. So
Yeah.
like there's up to 9, so we can all because it's comics.
It's really good.
It's a good read,
It's
so we
really
can
good.
read all 5 of them, and do that one time. Maybe we can do
Also,
like a
sex. What is it? Sex criminals. If you guys, that's
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
That's a
one.
really good.
So we can
comic.
always like
There's
pick comics.
Also, this comic that I think everyone here would
Mhm.
semi-enjoy, it's called Plastic.
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah,
Yes!
I know what you're talking about. I haven't read it, but I've heard about it. And
I
I've heard
just
that it's
finished
so
it.
good.
So fucking good.
I'd be down because I'm a huge like graphic novel fan. So like,
yeah.
I am all about that.
So we
And
can do like
also,
some graphic novels, some actual lore books, normal lore books.
woman who works at Black Cat's comic store. I love you. That's all I had to say.
I'm gonna figure out who that is and send it to her.
I love her. I walked in one time and like said something about Saga and she's like, oh, let me help you. Obviously that's her job, but instantly made me love her and like I can't stop thinking about her whenever I think about comics. So
No, I'm down. Like we can discuss more after, like,
oh yeah,
on
definitely.
Snapchat and stuff, but I'm down to do any type of shows.
Oh yeah,
This studio's open for you guys too. If you want to come in on your own, I can show you how to set up. So
cool. Because then you can also do your financial stuff. If you end up
Credit score,
if you don't
bitch!
want to do it, it's fine. But I think it'd be really cool. I think people would be really.
she gets
interested
paid to
in
do that normally.
Yeah, I get paid in real life.
that.
She can become the next Dave Ramsey. But yeah, but we can definitely like talk about it more and get it more up and going. Because like I mean like I haven't been the best at the read between the lines Instagram, but I'd be more interested if we had more of a consistent podcast, like a more of like we do it like once a week to once every other week kind of thing. I would be more interested in doing something like that. It's just hard to post when it's like you only do it once a month. It's hard to make like frequently posting.
Well,
so
like,
I feel like
we can do rotating cast too. It's I don't want people to feel like they have to be obligated to show up. Like if you're like, oh, I'm not feeling this book or I'm not feeling this comic or maybe I can't come this week, but someone else can. Like it should be free reign. Cool beard. Thanks, man. You're pretty cool yourself.
Random guy.
And Bieber, we will hang out. I swear to God, if we don't hang out eventually,
Plan
I
something.
will end everything.
She'll end everything, and we will cry while she ends everything.
Yeah.
So let's plan something. Girlies, let's
But yeah,
hang.
Come find us on our social medias. It's not hard. If you just type in Top Shelfers and go to Twitch, it's all on there.
We're the read between the lines.
Yep. And we will post what book we're going to do for next month if you guys want to join us.
Yeah, we'll be doing that soon. We'll either do another where we do like a poll, or we'll just pick a book. It's been better if we just pick a book because then we like actually like the book and we kind of read. We will actually read it if we kind of pick it ourselves. So we'll definitely do that. We'll be more active on social media, and you'll catch us there.
Yeah.
Or catch these hands.
Or catch these hands.
Whatever
am I
happens
right?
first, it'll happen.
We're ready.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, a random guy.
Says hi. Yeah.
Shall we call it for tonight?
Should
Maybe we should. Yeah. Let's call it.
Honestly, I could still talk about the book, but I mean, like, the thing is we've been going for a while, so.
Yeah,
What's the Insta? What's the Insta?
Oh, it's, okay, so it's Top Shelfers. Wait, what's the Top Shelfers is that one, and then the Read Between the Lines, which is us ladies, and Wes that one is RBTW _ podcast. So Read Between the Lines, abbreviated podcast, _podcast.
Right. And it's at Top Shelf _ hub for the Instagram.
Yes. But you can find the on Instagram or Books, Bees, and Coffees is my personal book
Which is
one.
ballers, fuck.
It is ballers, but...
But yeah, let's chat.
Let's chat, baby.
Let's chat. Let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next. Love you.